Yeah, well, you can say it's no longer called mental retardation. Intellectual difficulties, I can call it whatever I want.
Mental.
There's a thing we have in our country called freedom of speech, and you may follow the dictum of the AMA, but I'm going to follow the dictum of my own reckoning, what this is. I've dealt with mental retardation all my life, so I know all about mental retardation. I'm not suffering from it.
Which flag do you pledge allegiance to, Omar?
Okay, let's get the background up now.
Okay, maybe you would like to do that since you're probably better at.
Want to switch sides? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Oh, my golly. Oh, golly. Oh, this is a better chair. Yeah, I like this chair better. This is. I feel more normal here. I don't know why.
I like this chair better.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I mean, it does seem like it's...
I'm not a control freak. I'm happier in this place. You want to be where you want to be happy. You don't want to be in a place that's unhappy. Whew. Let's see what we got here. You know, you don't want to start your day out in an unhappy place. There's a feng shui of everything. Sarah's facial expressions are priceless. And I want all of you over at the Hangout to know that I'm still in the show, because I have to stand over here to be in the Hangout. Okay, great. So did we do a Hangout for Skyrim?
No.
Okay. How was the Skyrim show for you?
It was fine.
Cool. We're going to do the background we used last week because it's just so generic, and it talks about the world, and you know, kind of gives us an idea where we're at here in America. You know, I went to the restaurant out the door because like I said, I was involved in a speaking engagement. It was normal for me to do that. I don't know what the big deal is. She's happy tonight. Yes, Sergeant Popo. Sarah no, she's not going to fall asleep. Hello, Sarah and David and all the peeps in the chat room. Hi, everybody. Speaking engagement with your hand. Wow. I can't believe the level of innuendo in that chat just now. Did you see that? Just heavy layer of sexual innuendo. I mean, you're smearing it on heavy. Let's take a look at the Oval Office. This is the Oval Office during Ronald Reagan's time. And what better place than for us to be here? A much better place than the world map, I think. You know, all I can do is I close my eyes and I think of all the people in this room who have incredibly perverted minds. And I really wonder, why are you so perverted? And I know, because our nation has been led down this road of diversion. You see, by diverting us from reality and constantly thinking about sex, we no longer think about important things like our future. We'd rather just think about where we're going to get down and get dirty and get funky. Get funky! I'm very attractive in general, but thank you. Just kidding. I realize I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but I'm working on it. Should we mention marijuana legalization tonight, even though it is, you know, yeah, I think that's make love, not war. Let's not forget the 60s. Okay, thanks. The tie was a direct present from Sarah. We went to a wonderful sale at one of the excellent retailers with top-of-the-line Italian ties, and this is a Ruffini. Yeah, well, let's be clear. Okay, so many of you have imbibed on this wonderful Saturday, Sabado. Perhaps you are from Mexico or Colombia. Maybe you are from south of the border and you come up with a little bit of marijuana. Well, we don't want your marijuana. We don't want your lousy Mexican paraquat-ridden marijuana. So by legalizing marijuana, we will immediately shore up our borders and make our nation stronger. Now, building our nation up, providing our own supply of cannabis, hash, any kind of a distillate from that, hempoline, something like that, will give us a greater, stronger energy independence. And energy independence is at the core of maintaining a strong defense. Why do I talk about a strong defense? Because it's the best offense. That's the end of the story. And the only way to be strong in the world is to put out a strong defense, not run around kicking ass like Barack Obama wants to do. Just make yourself strong, build your economy, and it is the economy, and believe me, I'm not calling you stupid, but it is the economy, stupid, not you. You're not stupid. But the reality is we have to wake up to the fact that we have an internal engine that needs to fuel the strength of our dollar. Our leaders just want to borrow from the strength of the dollar constantly and make credit advances on our future, borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today. It's building up the economy to go to war and steal other nations' resources? Exactly, and that's what I don't think is good for our country. Rock out like crazy, exactly. I'm not a control freak, you know? Well, I mean, you can call me a driven person, living military style, following a certain set of code and ethic, much like a Navy SEAL or some sort of a Green Beret. But no, control freak, that's a bit much. Okay, is Sarah grading? No, she's doing some important things right now. She's working on paperwork. The best office is actually attacking something without preventing 3/4 of your troops to engage the enemy like coward Obama do just to win the next election. Okay, Meow TV, what do you mean attacking somebody? So what do you suppose? We should attack some country? Exactly which country should we attack, Meow? And how will that not affect relations with Russia or China? Could you think this through for a second? I know we're playing a little game of chess here, but I want you to carry it to the next level. Thanks, Meow. Sarah's grading is no. Control freak with a bad wig. I wet my head today just to prove to you it's a real deal. I'm letting it dry right now. Jibble nuggets. Okay. Mexico's marijuana is from a time when we used to compress the bricks. Okay, yeah. Well, I know. That's why you've taken all the good quality out of the Mexican marijuana. There's been a lot of breakthroughs in the recreational marijuana business. Sure, yeah. No, I'm not disputing that. I think we have a vibrant potential capitalist boom here. We can go into a boom time in 2017 once I legalize marijuana across the board. But right now, there's a little thing called the DEA, and it costs $26 billion a year to interdict in marijuana here in America. That's $26 billion we could save and bank. Let's just look at all the money we'd save by not starting wars or going after marijuana within the United States. Let's take a look at that, okay? Great. We'll spend the night thinking about how much money our country's going to save. All right, let's just kick back and talk. What do you want to talk about, Sarah? I'll just kind of relax and kick my foot up. And, you know, I don't want to interject. You've got things to say, too. We were talking about the Denver airport. We're talking about the Denver airport today.
But this is an anti-war rally, so I was thinking of you know, doing some research and finding out, you know, how much money the government is spending on Syria. We could talk about that. Whether we should be sending in troops into, you know, we could talk about, since this is anti-war, there's this kind of war on Ebola.
Right,
we could talk about that.
Yeah, how about the war on Ebola? How's that going for you? Everybody's good with the war on Ebola? Yeah, kicking butt, man.
We could talk about the war on drugs.
Well, you know, Obama just sent 3,000 troops in to get infected with Ebola, so we're doing really well there. You know, we're really kicking the butt of Ebola. I can't wait till those young men and women come home incubating Ebola and they arrive home with their families and go, "Hi, Mom, I'm home. I got a little nosebleed. Do you have any tissue?" Pretty soon the whole family is like completely contaminated. The whole neighborhood's contaminated. Pretty soon we'll have a lockdown, curfews. This country is turning into a boiling pot, not a melting pot. What is S4? It's adjacent to Area 51? Okay, well, I can't guarantee that, but let's talk. Sending 300 troops to Liberia? Try 3,000 troops. Yeah.
3,000?
3,000 troops are going in.
Check that.
Check that. Hypoferon.
Oh, he said 3,000.
I say 3,000.
He fixed himself too. He said 3,000.
Okay, great.
He said,
Real Shanio, I need you to be a solid player here, and you're not being a solid player. I'm going to have to do some bad things to you now. I'm going to spank you. Okay, you've been banned. Real Shanio is showing his patriotism, folks. I'm trying to get real here and talk about the issues.
Oh, I'm going to take care of one more person.
I had a lot of people question me the other night. They said, "David, you're just not talking about the issues enough." Last night I had a real heartfelt discussion with the group. Everybody was in here. And I talked about my mom, which I hardly ever talk about ever online. And I got to talk to various people about that. I was at a conversation with someone on the phone, and it was good. So now I'm looking at a a long-term projection for our group to be more honest with each other. You can honestly tell me you're broke and you can't donate to our party. Just say it. Hey, man, I'm broke. I live with my mom. That was great, wasn't 749? Just say, hell, I'm broke, man. I live with my mom. I can't donate, but I like what you guys are talking about. You know, dude, so we understand. It's no big deal. I'm not concerned about how much money you have. I would like you to get more opportunity, being an average American. But beyond that, I'm not worried about your donations. I would like you to promote us around the internet, though. Well, thanks, Earth Beer. We could use any donation up to $5,000 for our effort here.
Thanks, 659.
Do we have a full cap of 5,000 on the election,
Yes.
the presidential election?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's a full cap of 5,000. It keeps us from accepting donations from,
Right.
you know, corporate scumbags. Not that you are a corporate scumbag, but you could be a corporate scumbag individually, but we don't want corporations to donate because that's illegal. We don't want to do anything illegal. So you've got to be a U.S. citizen too, by the way. That's real important. Well, I did buy her dinner today. Actually, she bought me dinner. It was a payback for something. I gave her a gas card for $35, so she bought me a small dinner. But you're right. I should buy her more dinner. I should just be a better person,
Well,
Sarah.
You make me dinners.
I know I do. I try to do everything I
every day.
can. Okay, so pro
What you read
legalization.
about Now TV2 is like.
Okay, here it
It's
is.
not about. I thought it was about. Never mind.
The anti-war movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the anti-war movement is about marijuana.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's a make love, not war. Okay, this just came in.
We're just getting this in from NORAD that 2 U.S. jets intercepted 6 Russian planes that neared U.S. airspace off the Alaska coast yesterday. In the second incident, Canadian planes intercepted 2 Russian bombers that approached a Canadian airspace. NORAD says that the Russian planes never entered U.S. or Canadian airspace. But how serious of an incident is this?
Well, we've faced these kinds of incidents before. We take them very, very seriously, and we routinely intercept them. We'll make our intentions known and to Russia as we always do, and we'll certainly discuss our concerns with them at the appropriate time and in the appropriate venue. It is important that as we talk about these kinds of reconnaissance missions,
If you donate
that everybody
more
has a clear, transparent sense of what we're doing, so that we can avoid any kind of mishaps.
Yeah.
Was there any connection, you think, because there's some speculation that maybe these incidents were connected to Russian anger over the visit to the United States by the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko?
I've not seen any indication of a linkage to President Poroshenko's visit, Wolf. But again, I think for intentions, you probably ought to be talking to our friends in Moscow. Again, we take these things seriously, and we will convey our concerns to Russia through the appropriate venue.
Wow, so Russian planes have intercepted near U.S. Canadian airspace. Wow. Okay, this is bound to happen, everyone. We expected this.
Oh, I just wanted to answer the donation question.
Go ahead.
If you donate $50 or less, even if you can make a donation through PayPal and not just put your information in there. Or anyway, if you do donate more than $50, not only will I have your information, I will be requesting your information to file with my paperwork to the Federal Election Commission, because it is federal law that I have to disclose the name and address of anyone donating $50 or more, and I have to disclose the name, address, employer, and occupation of anyone donating $100 or more.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to read the minutes from last night. And according to Robert's rules, we want to make this as boring as possible for all of you to follow, but it's true. You have got to definitely put your address in over $50. So yeah, $49.99 will get an anonymous donation to us.
Yeah, everyone donate $49.99.
You've got to be a U.S. citizen, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
No matter what, you do have to be a United States citizen, and it has to come from a personal account. It can't come from a corporation.
That shirt looks great on you, Sarah. Look at that. Wow. You know, somebody did an animation for us on the internet. I was just showing people how cool it was that we have this little piece that we can look at and see ourselves in digital land. But I was thinking how cool it would be if we could be holograms and go door to door to people's houses, you know, and have a little machine that knocks on their door and says, "Hi, I'm Dave, and this is Sarah, and we're running for president and vice president." Wouldn't that be so cool? And a little machine that projects that right onto your front door, and it kind of like artificially sends a message to your doorbell. Ding dong.
No, it cannot be multiple donations and remain anonymous. And if you do donate, I'm going to use my best efforts to get your
Thank you, man. Omar, thank you so much. Wow, you're really coming through, Omar. Thank you.
Well, instead of $1 a day, save it and donate over the weekend, because we do have PayPal fees that we pay out of it, and when you donate less than $5, the fees actually, you know, eat up half your donations. Whereas if you saved it up till you get $10 and donated every other week, $10, then the fees would be fairly minimal.
Congress changed the rule this year. There's no limit to what an individual corporation can contribute. We're going to have to check into that.
Well,
thank you.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
Go ahead.
Wait, what?
I remember there was a rule change about how much. There's no limit to how much a corporation individual can change. Go ahead. What's your take?
What happened was, it wasn't, as far as I know, you'll have to contact the Federal Election Commission yourself, because I haven't. I mean, I have been involved with doing other things to stay up on top of every little detail.
Well, that's an important detail, but yeah, I'm curious.
Well, then you can stay on top of that.
I will.
Okay, so.
Whoa, hang on just a second. We need a. That was a quick one from Sarah. Hey, here we go.
Hi-oh!
Good one, Sarah. The great Karnak will be coming on shortly.
However, the big issue, what did happen, is a Supreme Court case called Citizens United, and that was that corporations should be able to use unlimited funding. Just like if you wanted to go out and promote David,
yes, that's true.
And you're a millionaire and you wanted to spend $1 million promoting David, as long as David is not telling you how to spend the money and you're not asking David, how should I spend this money, you just spend it. You do have to fill out what's called an independent expenditure, and that all those rules are through the Federal Election Commission. Well, anyway, there was a case that went to the Supreme Court called Citizens United about 2008, I believe. And anyway, with that, the Supreme Court decided that corporations have the freedom of speech just like individuals do. So corporations can spend unlimited amounts of money supporting or supporting or not supporting, doing negative press against any candidate of their choice. They could spend out every single dime they make if they wish.
Right.
However, the candidate cannot be involved. So whatever you donate to us has to still go by what the FEC rules are.
All right, yeah. Okay, so you opted for the full picture for our Hangout, which means we shouldn't go into a smaller camera, or can we?
Pardon?
Can we go from the smaller camera? Because I don't think we should change the Hangout.
You can't change. Once you remove that camera, you will not be able to get that camera back.
Okay, so we won't remove the camera or change that dimension. I'm just thinking of ways of. I wonder if I could download 2 versions of XSplit, or maybe get another program so I could get. Actually, we don't need. We can do it without the green screen. I just realized that. We can go green screen.
Well, you can go to. You do it with effects.
Full screen effects, backgrounds.
Yeah.
And we just go there.
And that's the only one that we have.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that I wasn't able to download any. They made it so that all the backgrounds will not download. Okay, cool. Let's come into the picture. So now this is kind of a religious background or something behind us.
And they do, but they did add that section over there, so you can play with that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Still doesn't work very well. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I had a much better effect last time, so.
Well.
Reset to default. This is a wild little experiment, yeah. I think I'll get out of the Gothic background. It's not really doing anything for me. All right, we'll get back to the show. Sorry, we just took an interlude to study our Manicam. Tricepra, is that you?
No, it's a person underneath him.
Okay. Thank you. Take guests off. They come in with that scribble crap thinking they're cool. Good point. Thank you. They're like gangland or something. Kind of like gangland chatters. Gangster chatters is what I would call these people.
I do have it up. I did
Sound
have
is
that
up.
story up somewhere about the White House being.
Okay, guess if you continue to do this garbage with the lettering, it's disturbing our other guests, and I would appreciate it if you stop that. Otherwise, I'll have to remove all guest chat, meaning you won't be able to talk about anything. All right, there's a second arrest in 2 days for trying to enter the White House unlawfully. This is the top of the news at Google right now. I just wanted to bring this up because people are trying to get in, I think, because they heard there's some really some good stuff inside. I don't know. If somebody wants to inside the White House really bad, and I don't know why. Sarah does look super hot today. You know, she's got that that look, that Lauren Bacall. Remember Bogey and Bacall and Casablanca? Have you guys ever seen that movie? Maybe you haven't, but she's got that Bogey look today. You know, that smoky kind of lady of knowledge kind of look. And
so with Europe and Google,
thank you.
The latest, my understanding of it, and you know, you might find other information, but my understanding of it is that Europe had a big court case against Google, and basically Europe has won what's called the right to be forgotten.
Oh yeah.
And so it doesn't apply to Americans, so be careful what you post, Americans. But Europeans have the right to be forgotten.
Google EU,
so
yeah.
They can, you know, do a Google search on themselves, and anything that they find that you find about yourself, you can ask for that post to be removed from the Google search engine.
I'm not Ivan. I'm not. I'm not Ivan. I'm not a passive-aggressive person.
Ivan?
Yeah, why do you think I'm passive-aggressive? I'm very outspoken. I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve. And I'm really kind of a overt person. I have more of a hysterical personality, actually, quite the opposite of obsessive, rather manic, what were you saying? Yeah, passive-aggressive, thank you. I was thinking manic-depressive, bipolar, no,
well,
none of those things.
I talk down to David, so.
Well, I'm not talking down, I'm condescending.
I'm condescending too.
Are you really? Are you learning that from me?
Maybe.
Oh,
I'm just like more, but I'm more like, well, if you want certain things done, I'm not going to do them all.
Yes. Well, Sarah smells like pure, innocent, wonderful, sweet everything that humanity and Earth can provide. Sarah is the essence of all of the above. She is purity, the essence of purity.
It smells good too.
Well, no, I stopped eating garlic, as you know.
So that's why you smell good.
Yeah, and the reason I stopped eating garlic is I'm getting ready for another barrage of garlic this week. So I thought I'd give myself a break and then I'd get in with a hit. I'm getting ready for the Ebola attack, and I realize that it can happen at any time. Ebola attacks could be coming to America, and I want to be prepared with a good immune system, so I take raw garlic during the week. Sarah hated seafood dish you made. I didn't make a seafood dish. Thanks, Truss. Next guest to do that? What? Omar, what are you talking about? Oh, the scribble crap? Okay, thank you. Well, better looking than Ronald Reagan. Asset, I told you to stop using those bad words. I don't think the American people would like to hear the infamous N-word in our show. I know that Sarah and I would not. Well, I'm banning as many of them come in. As they come in with their little thing, I'm banning them. Well, that's the concern I have. I'm more concerned about Ebola than ISIS.
I'm going to
take a break. And have my coffee on the way back. From the. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm just 30 minutes.
Now there you go again. Now that's just sad, see? USA been hijacked is now wanting me to do a Ross Perot. Now that's sad. Now take a look at these here charts.
My cat Ambola? My cat's named Amber. No, She's Amber. Amber cannot be changed to Ambola. You're sick. God. Do your parents know how sick you are? Are they still living? Have you contacted them and says, Mom, Dad, I'm really sick? Okay. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Now, let's be clear. Actually, well, let's be clear. Mad. I don't know. Let's focus on the news. Activists are taking to the streets to fight climate change. Okay, this is the kind of thing that's coming out of the Democratic Party. They're getting ready to fight climate change. They're going to frame the Democratic position. I've already seen this coming. Organizers for the People's Climate March in New York City, it sounds like a communist organization, are hoping the demonstration will influence the United Nations Summit on Climate Change. The goal of the march is to show world leaders something needs to be done, says Nijesti Kantave, a field organizer for Sunday's march. There needs to be a call for action, everybody, about climate change. What do they want us to do? Stop farting? And could you please stop spamming this nonsense tripe? Thank you. I mean, are we supposed to clench our cheeks and stop flatulating? I mean, come on. They could have cleaned up their act a long time ago. I'm not a little negative about it. I'm talking about I don't want cap and trade. I don't want something that's going to cost taxes on already expensive meat and byproducts. I'm tired of paying over $1 a pound for beef. And I've been trying to find real old beef out there, but I'm telling you, you can't find any day-old or 10-day-old beef for less than $3 a pound. Yeah. So I certainly don't want. I'm not playing voices. I'm telling you exactly how I feel, Casper. This is my show, okay? You don't like it? Go away. Go away, Casper. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to be into the cap and trade solution because, frankly, I don't think it's appropriate for our nation to tax its citizens for things that are way out of our control. And I ask you, being this is an anti-war rally and we're fighting a war against the environment right now, or the environment is fighting a war against us, let's not forget the dangers of, you know what, chemtrails. Things that fly in the sky. Now, the government would like us to believe that we need to go fight a war over in Syria. Meanwhile, they're spraying chemtrails in the air. This really is going on. Okay. And they're telling us that we're going to have a global climate change problem here at home with this news story. So it's kind of like we're being diverted in all different directions when obviously we're fighting a war against Ebola. Why are they making it a war against climate change now? So I say end this taxation thing and come up with innovations. Solve air pollution with air pollution control devices. This is where our party's different. So I want our economy to grow. I don't want to be diverted into wars overseas. It would be foolish for us to do that. So while these guys in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, both John Kerry and John McCain, are pushing for more and more war in Syria, while that's happening, they're framing the discussion for climate change here at home for the 2016 election and the Democrats to kind of promote their cap and trade legislation. Okay, so as a voter, we're like, what the hell are they trying to do? These two parties are trying to start wars overseas, allow chemtrails to fly over our heads, not even question what's happening, and cap and trade us and force us to all pay taxes on our beef byproducts. That's what's going on. All right, guest is now off. You have violated enough of those, and I'm going to stop that. I want a normal chat here. Thank you for that, Tricep, and we'll get back to the chote. Well, I think the war already did start, Casper. I think it started in 2000 with the attack on the trade centers. And I think when we look back on all of this, we're all going to say, wow, what was that? And they're going to all the pundits in the news are going to say, well, it looks to me like we've just gone through World War III. David, you felt we never should have left Iraq and advocate continued intervention the same, yet you say you don't want wars overseas? LOL. I wanted to retain the progress we made in Iraq. Otherwise, it would have been the loss meaningless loss of life of 5,000 men in Iraq and 1,000 in Afghanistan, roughly. We didn't want to walk away from that as a loss, and I think at this point we are going to be looking at a loss if we lose the ground effort, and that's up to the Iraqi army, not us, because I don't really want to send troops in at this point. Tricep, do you think ISIS will attack us here in the U.S.? It's entirely possible that a false flag operation will occur within the United States, triggered by one of our internal intelligence officers. Absolutely. The threat from a real terrorist organization is very low. Very low. They would guard the airports better and check more than just our groin area if they really wanted to protect our nation. 85% of the luggage coming in from foreign countries is not checked at the airport. Most people don't even know that. I don't like to talk about it a lot because it's kind of a vulnerability. But in reality, that is the deal. And as much as we have all of these people living with this delusion that we've got a safe and secure border, we really don't. We've got a guy analyzing somebody else's pubic region. Now that could be me. Sarah's in the other room. She's coming in for just a cameo every few minutes. Top her down. Don't worry. They don't want to protect us. Illegals are flying to fly without ID, but Americans need to get our balls checked to get on a plane. Exactly. Good point. Thank you. Yeah, so I want to phase out the TSA. That's another thing. I want to bring our troops home. I want to get our troops home and protect the border. I don't think we need TSA officers at our points of entry. I don't think we need full body cavity checks at every airport, personally. I think we got people, men and women in the armed forces like the National Guard and Coast Guard that would actually do the job better than these buffoons, these rented cops, standing there with their little rubber gloves on. I mean, it's disgusting. I have not flown since the World Trade Center attack. Now, that's not to say I haven't been, you know, traveling pretty high, but I haven't flown since that period. I can go fast on the highway. I can get up to about 80 miles an hour, you know, in certain areas. I think you can drive 80 in some states. Is that right? No, I think 75 is the highest speed. Wyoming. No, I'm just saying when you're traveling, when you're high, that's not a good thing. That could be very bad. Yeah. Rastafari, Dave. Oh, man. How are you? So you want to get high and then travel, or do you rather travel high? All right. I'm not. I'm running for president of the United States, you moron. And I don't mean to call you moron because according to one of our doctors in training here, it's not a correct term to use anything related to mental retardation. But I would like to point out that you, Sir Spang, are a moron. Thank you. Yes, just wanted to label you a moron, and let's move on, okay? You know, the leaders of the G7 and G20 met last week in Moron, Wyoming. I don't even travel on vacation, Earthbeer. I've got a constant death threat on my head everywhere I go. Yeah, and they met in Moron, Wyoming, and they're talking about expanding credit yet again. Al Jolson says, David, you need to fly. How will you visit Israel when you become president? What makes you think I'm going to be visiting Israel? I got all kinds of things going on at the White House. Let me tell you about what the White House has to provide. We've got telepresence by Cisco and Microsoft in the back room. Don't be worrying about me. Right back here in behind this door, we've got telepresence, and I will be in touch with Benjamin Netanyahu personally in 2017. We'll be talking about working through the problems in the Palestinian state, the emerging Palestinian state, and I'm sure everyone will be very happy about that. Because we finally need to get down to the nuts and bolts of creating a real solution in Israel. We cannot just stand here and go, well, I support peace. I'm sorry, President Barack Obama, but that's not enough. You agree with me? Thank you. So I'll be talking on a daily basis or a weekly basis with Benjamin Netanyahu to try to bridge the gap and find a solution to the economic depravity of the Palestinian people. Now, we will be talking primarily about that because I'm framing the discussion about their economy within the Gaza Strip area. See you later. Yeah, you too, Sniper. Take care. David, there's something more status quo than massaging Israel's political member. Well, I'm not massaging. I'm not going to be doing any, like, hanky-panky over telepresence. What, do you think I'm going to be sexting with Benjamin Netanyahu? What kind of a freak are you? I don't approve of those very, very anti-Semitic cartoons, Al. You will be banned from the room if you do that again. All right? Thank you. But I can see I've got a lot of Nazis in here, unfortunately, who don't like Israel. But I'm still going to work out a solution for the Palestinian people despite your hatred for Israel. All right? Because they are clearly an ally, and we've got to work through that. And obviously the Senate just endorsed our entire relationship with Israel, that we put it in cement just 2 days ago. Israeli-U.S. relations have never been more impacted in the past few days. Check this out. Wow, it didn't even pop up. I thought it was going to pop up on the news. Okay. Let me limit the search. Wow. Remember they signed something in the Senate? Let me bring this up. I haven't seen it yet. Hang on. I just picked this up yesterday. U.S. Senate elevates Israel's. Here we go. Okay, this is from the Jerusalem Post, everyone. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we're now at a certain level of protocol. ISIS tables language on Israel inclusion in visa waiver program, long stalled bill passes under upper chamber declaring Israel major strategic partner. An omnibus bill full of measures to improve the relationship between Israel and the United States has passed the U.S. Senate after being delayed since May. The bill declares Israel a major strategic partner of the U.S., enhancing Israel's trade status to expedite export licensing, increases cooperation on energy, water engineering, research and development, and expands authority for forward deployed U.S. weapons stockpiles in the Jewish state. Fascinating, huh? And here we just gave them what? A rocket defense system of $225 million guaranteed to pay Lockheed Martin. I believe they're building it for them. $225 million rocket defense system on top of, get this, a $70 billion loan guarantee. Whoa! Like we even have that to spare. That's what Barack Obama's done. So I would definitely trim the economic support for Israel as we forge relations and try to find a way to solve the economic problems in that region. So as I'm cutting back on money, I'm going to be going there as a good trading partner and going, hey, come on, you're kind of screwing us over here, you know? We give you a cumulative total of $225 billion over the past 50 years. Israel has gotten $225 billion from the United States, and I think it's time to talk Turkey. We have to get something out of the deal, and I would see a port in the Mediterranean that the UN could oversee and maintain solid relations with both Palestinians and Israeli, and they can be there too. This is not me dictating, this is me suggesting. And if they don't agree, that's fine. We'll talk about something other than, but I really would like to see a port, someplace that they could trade without having arms passed over through ships, because there's ways of detecting arms on board ships. Israel's already interdicted how many Hezbollah shipments of military weapons into the Gaza Strip. I think 2 or 3 large shipments have been interdicted. Anyway, that's a solution to the Middle East. Now, when we're looking at that, I keep this pro-legalization thing, so all of you know that we are pro-legalization here. I'm going to legalize marijuana. So the first thing I'm going to do, interdict it, yeah. So this whole thing could evolve into a plan to create another area, a water improvement area, and this brings me to the water pipeline, the ocean pipeline idea that we have, which I think is one of our best ideas. We also introduced the possibility of doing this plan, and it's not very expensive to do this. The ocean pipeline project can be deployed in and near the Gaza Strip. The Sinai Peninsula, we could work collaterally with Egypt and Israel to forge an ocean pipeline project to create fresh water for the people of Gaza, who are currently drinking brackish, salty water, believe it or not. The water in Gaza is the worst in the world, practically. So providing fresh water also will lead to a very interesting combination of events. And I talk about this on every anti-war rally. I thought I'd bring it up right now. It's a good transition point. water equals food, which equals prosperity, which equals peace. This is a very interesting formula that I came up with, and it doesn't take a West Point graduate to come up with a simple concept like this, but it really does kind of embody what this whole thing is about. Topper Dan, again, if you continue to mindlessly think that the blackface video is the end of my political career, I'm going to help you to learn as you come back some other time in the show that this is the beginning of my political career, and frankly, Captain Kuhn, there's no end to what I'm doing. I am just beginning, and a lot of you guys are going to sit back and go, whoa, what's going on with this guy? Yeah, but the reality is I'm about ready to break through, and I can feel it. And what's weirder about this whole blackface video is I can sense fear in the competitors who are cheating to win elections. Not only am I resilient, I'm indomitable. I have an indomitable spirit. You cannot stop this. So anybody who thinks this is the end of anything is kind of like underestimating me to the max. Yeah, okay, what's your question, Alpha Dog? It is a no-brainer, yeah. I agree, and I think the country has to get on the same page, and right now the CIA is all off the page. They're convoluted, and they've taken us down a very dark road in the wrong direction. Thank you, Shebang. I don't have any sexual deviations or dick pics, if you will. Yeah, nobody's ever photographed my beautiful body. And no one has ever, I've never had any sexual deviations. I'm not sure where you're coming from, man. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I'm a hardwired monogamist. I'm a one-woman guy. I stay with one woman, and that's how it is. All right, David Stiles impetuous. His arguments impregnable. Thank you, Captain Coons. So we're going to polish off all the discussions as we move along and kind of bring up things that you probably will never hear about on another channel or another broadcast anywhere else in the world. And that's what makes this a unique quality experience for all of you. You're a mahoganyist? You hate other woods? Are you sure you're not a misogynist? Man who hates women? Yeah, they create a chaos situation so they could come in and save the day. The people never even knowing that it was them to begin with. I know. USA been hijacked. Thank you. Yeah, that's at the back. That's the underbelly of the whole pro-war stance that Obama has right now. Anyway, let's get down to the brass tacks here because I've got a lot of things we can talk about. Obviously, the news is ripe with information. What's happening with all these false flag events, with beheadings of journalists around the world, we're seeing just the heightened concern in the American people force-fed to think that there's a greater fear of terror. So it's kind of a frenzy. We're slowly gaining in what they believe they're creating this through COINTEL. They're creating this disinformation campaign of fear of terror, which is leading us to this concept of, well, we're going to have to go and now do surgical strikes on Syria. That's what Obama's proposing. And again, 60,000 Kurds are fleeing from Syria into Turkey right now, anticipating literally a huge outflow of Kurds. It's apparently the Kurds are the players in the middle of this entire deal between ISIL, ISIS, Bashar al-Assad's government, and I'm not really sure who our rebel forces are that we're spending $500 million on. But Barack Obama's got authorization this past week from the House, and I believe the Senate, to give $500 million to this area. Folks, if you think that we need to give rebel troops $500 million and then go and do surgical strikes on them, instead of giving people in Detroit $500 million, that's the critical problem here. We've got a nation that's ailing in a big way, and Barack Obama is spending his time focusing on funding rebels, and he's not solving the problem in our nation. Thank you, Demo. I know, and he's going to trigger Assad's disapproval Yeah, and then Assad will declare it as a declaration of war against his country, and voila, the beginning of World War III. He is hell-bent on creating World War III capital gain, and I got to tell you, man, I've been trying to raise the elevate the bar of intelligence in America for the past 6 years on this show, but there's nothing I can do or you can do individually to stop this overwhelming desire by Obama and the CIA to push for war with Syria. I know, Dungholio. Obama's in the pocket of the corporate elitists, including the Saudi Arabian King Abdullah. No question about it. Yeah, Operation Syrian Rainbow Freedom. Okay. Is that what they're calling it, Spang? Well, Jet, I'm not in a situation where we need to worry about Assad's disapproval either. The point I'm concerned about is, do we need to have a trigger point for World War III? Is that necessary? And by the way, what are we going to get from that area? Because you see this ocean pipeline right here? America doesn't get squat from this thing. Seriously. Except maybe continued peace and prosperity. That's about all we get. Detroit needs 500 million right now, like tomorrow. But do the rebels in Syria need any money? And what's the deal with this money infusion? I just don't get it. We haven't broken from our track of starting wars and creating economic hits on countries. We haven't stopped that since the Vietnam War. We've had no reckoning. Robert F. Kennedy was the only one who could have possibly gotten some reckoning and answered the big questions about why we're at war. But Robert F. Kennedy got his head blown off. Nobody's using this ocean pipeline. I'm telling you, anybody could. But it wouldn't help America. It would help the people of Gaza. This is a benevolent thing I'm offering the peace brokers of the world. And so far, I haven't seen any major developments other than, well, let's be clear. I support peace. That's all we've got. It's a benevolent gesture, yeah. Yeah, that's all it is. But it won't cost us a lot. We might be able to sell some product and get it started and fabricate some polycarbonate plastic. Our oil companies, Dow might even benefit from this. Not that I like Dow. Yeah, I hear you. That's right, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the whole thing. It's all the same thing repeated over and over again. They're just repackaging it. Can I donate some money to this pipeline? Jet, at this point, all the money goes into the campaign to get me elected. I'm not taking any donations for the pipeline project right now. But maybe I should set that up. You're right. You got me thinking. That would be a good idea. But, you know, money is not my forte. I'm not a big money guy. I'm more interested in solving problems. I was never really aggressive when it came to wanting more money. I'm not a materialistic person. I made a vow of poverty when I was 18 years old. So I live in the world of ideas, really, and I'm becoming more and more into the process of building things. I've got a series of solar heaters that I'm building right now for export. Thanks, Jelly Roll. I just bought some lumber, and I've got a construction thing going on. I'm going to try to sell these for export, and it's interesting. I'm looking forward to more and more renewable ideas. I have a future in renewable energy, regardless of what my political career involves. I really believe that we've got solutions that will tie this world together, make us all a very happy place. Today I was thinking about a couple that I met online about 4 years ago, named Jacques Fresco and Roxanne Meadows, and he and she are both interested people who developed the Venus Project. And I'll give you a little tutorial about what they see for the future of the world. And I believe I'm a futurist as well, and I believe that not that their idea is the best idea, I just think that they've got a handle on something really special. Whether we get there or not in the next 150 years, I don't know. But I would like to see a transition toward a more resource-balanced world. Yeah, the solar heaters require a little lumber. The lumber acts as an insulator and heats up when painted with black paint. The lumber is actually a very good insulation tool. So in the boxes that I'm building, the solar heaters, the lumber actually is the convecting agent. Let me show you this video.
What the Venus Project proposes is an entirely different system that's updated to present-day knowledge.
We've never given scientists the problem of how do you design a society which would eliminate boring and monotonous jobs, that would eliminate accidents in transportation, that would enable people to have a high standard of living, that would eliminate poisons in our food, that would give us other sources of energy that are clean and efficient.
When we understand that it is technology devised by human ingenuity which frees humanity and increases our quality of life, we then realize that the most important focus we can have is on the intelligent management of the Earth's resources.
If you want a world without war, without hatred, with reduced crime, considerably reduced crime, then you must declare all of the Earth's resources as the common heritage of all the world's people. Anything less than that will be a repetition of the same cycle of problems.
But there's no end to the possibilities, which I think haven't even begun yet. The civilized world hasn't even begun to get off the ground. The jobs that will be accomplished in the future, the marvels, the technology to come is unbelievable. And it's about high time we get off our self-centered, self-seeking, self-advantageous designs and get on with the social job that has to be done, namely the reclamation of the environment and human beings as well. So we welcome everybody's participation.
I don't support the politics behind the movement, the Venus Project. I don't support the politics because even he doesn't even talk about politics. In my 2-hour interview with Jacques Fresco, I actually broached those issues, and he doesn't think that way. He's more of an idealistic futurist. I'm more of a pragmatist futurist. And I believe the building blocks are not based on a communist model or a socialist model, but rather an innovation model. Not Jacques Cousteau, Jacques Fresco. Yes. He, that guy's 96 years old in that video, but now he's like 100. Anyway, I didn't insult anybody by showing that. I showed you some really cool pictures of what the world could be like someday. Fresca is delicious if you like cyclamates and aspartame. Yeah. Oh gosh, Dung Holio, you may want to try eating some garden variety dandelions or something. I think you're constipated. Yeah, you need some sort of a diuretic too. Poor Dung Holio. Yeah, Casper, that's not. I'm not trying to ruin your mind by showing you a little sample of what this guy spent his entire life dreaming of. I'm not here to call him a commie or anything or a pinko. You man. Aspartame is basically the rat poison. If you go to any restaurant and pick up one of those little pink packets, you've probably seen the pink packets, 0-calorie pink packets. I challenge anybody to do this. When heated up, it changed into formaldehyde. That's right. You can actually put one of these packets on top of some ants in your backyard. If you have an anthill, thank you, Prickly. Look wasted. What are you talking about? You can put some of this on an anthill, and you literally will see those ants die in one day. Whatever, mofo. I use stevia too. Why stevia suck? No, I don't kill ants like, you mean Hannah's ant? No, I would never do anything bad to anybody like that. I'm talking about anthills. Well, I don't eat that stuff because it makes you stupid. And I don't need to be stupid. Yeah, I'm sure you watched all episodes, SVU Law. Wow, no wonder your brain is mush. No offense, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you reacted negatively to that video by Jacques and Roxanne, you got some serious messed up situation. Yeah. All right, so, you know, I use septic safe toilet paper, but thanks for asking. I wanted to talk to you about how I want to fight wars tonight, because a lot of people think an anti-war rally, like our anti-war rally, is some sort of a kind of a peace-loving, you know, just give peace a chance, you know, John Lennon and Yoko Ono kind of thing. You're like, all we need is love, do-do-do-do. All we need is love, love. Love is all we need. Yeah, well, this isn't exactly that kind of a rally. Somebody told me this was some sort of a satanic sign. And I asked, well, what do I do with this if it's satanic? Because this is the only thing I know to represent peace. Okay? I don't know anything. I control the vertical and the horizontal. Well, I know that you guys want to talk about stevia, but I'd rather talk about peace. Okay? And I want to talk right now about a certain peace that only you could possibly understand. Yeah, we're going to talk about the peace that you get from having the most powerful defense weapon on Earth. Check out this piece.
I'd like to introduce you to a shotgun for the 21st century, the AA-12. The Auto Assault 12 is a fully automatic, gas-operated, low-recoil, 12-gauge shotgun designed specifically for the military. One blast from a shotgun is terrifying enough, but the AA-12 delivers at an incredible rate of nearly 300 rounds a minute. The first AA-12 prototype was designed and built in the 1970s. Then it was taken over by Jerry Baber, who made over 200 changes to bring this weapon into the future.
Once you see it one time, then you understand that it is probably the most powerful weapon in the world. There's no way that anybody within 200 yards could face this weapon and survive it.
Okay, that's exactly what I want to talk about here. So let's get down to the brass tacks. I knew what you were talking about. You're a bunch of gun-toting American patriots. You don't want to talk about this mamby-pamby-commie pinko stuff. I hear you. Let me get this thing off the screen. I understand what you're talking about. Screw that. And what is this marijuana legalization thing? Oh, get rid of that here. Yeah. Let's talk about hardware. You want to talk about hardware? Yeah. We'll talk about what Iraq did. Let's talk about the story from Fallujah. What happened when you seriously encounter the enemy. This is Fallujah, everybody. This is real war.
There were a number of journalists embedded with the U.S. Marines as they embarked on the battle for Fallujah in November of last year. One of those reporters was Kevin Seitz from the American network NBC. Kevin has spent nearly 10 months as an embedded journalist in Iraq.
Yeah, what happened was he witnessed some horrific acts of violence against what appeared to be unarmed Iraqi soldiers, and he had his take on what happened. Unfortunately, it turned out that he couldn't really commit whether those guys really did anything wrong, because at the time they were getting all kinds of innocent civilians detonate IEDs, improvised explosive devices. So these IEDs were blowing up right in people's faces. So the soldiers actually killed a couple of innocent people in front of his eyes, and he freaked. He's a journalist, and he finally, revealed that he didn't know for sure if they were doing the wrong thing. So we can easily talk about that level in our show. I do talk about a very robotic defense system. I would like to see retain our existing standing army forces of 2 million people. I certainly don't want to get rid of the 500,000 that Barack Obama wants to get rid of in 10 years. I would like to keep those 2 million standing army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Navy. Did I forget National Guard? Yeah, National Guard. I want to keep those people, but I also want to see more of a non-standing army focus, like UAV development. I'd like to see cheaper UAVs developed, not the ones that Raytheon produces, like the Predator. I would like to see a lower-cost version of the Predator. So I want to see strong innovations in robotic technology and military defense, but I don't want to bankroll it like Obama's doing. And right now, military defense is on track to be $1 trillion of our budget. The shirt is nice, okay? If she wants to wear a shirt anytime she wants, she can do that, okay? Thank you.
Be nice, Bish.
Yeah. She has control here.
No, I skipped a day without wearing it.
She liked it, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's certainly fine. You know, we do a great job on our show, and the last thing we need to do is step into superficial land and talk about mindless things like, oh, you wore that 2 days ago.
Well, can you say one good thing that you've done with your life? Maybe that you've done today. You got out of bed. There are many people in the world that are bedridden that can't get out of bed.
Yeah. I mean, for some people,
you're
having
out of bed, you're typing.
You're out of bed, yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
You never got out of bed, right?
You aren't out of bed. You didn't get out of bed to go use a restroom.
And Dung Holio is having severe gas. A lot of our chatters right now are suffering from some personal issue. I think we've got a lot of needy people in our chat room, and I want to cater to their needs. I want to give them what they need.
Are you anorexic?
I can relate to hardship, that's for sure. I'm not filthy rich. Hey, we're going to the laundromat to wash some clothes in a few days. So we know every week we process a load of clothes. I go through 3 of these white shirts a week. That means I have to wear these shirts a couple days in a row. So just relax, Bish. Too many people need help here at Vaughn. Yeah, I know, he'll. And we're here to help. You know, we're not a licensed professional therapist, but we're people you can get to know on a nightly basis and pretend like you know, have a relationship. It helps. Especially needs to fill the void of being collectively separate. No, I don't support a washing machine fund. I don't really want a washing machine. I decided I'm going to develop my own solar washing machine that runs on solar energy. I
forgive you.
Tasked myself to do this, and it's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. If I don't do it, I'm not going to be able to do it. I've got a few solar electric motor-based systems I need to develop. I'd like to see a sit-down electric battery-operated mower. I'd like to make one of those, too. Kind of a brick-and-mortar guy, yeah. There you go. I ride brick-and-mortar. Well, it is profound, Prickly Pete. We're all living a collectively separate life. We all have a similar daily routine. I walk out of my hood and check out all the people down in Detroit. And there are some people that are dying on the street. And then maybe you just have another situation where you get out of your beautiful palatial retreat on the coast of Malibu and take a swim and check out the babes, surf a little bit, come back, turn some news on, sports. Life's cool, dude. Party on, dude. Anyway, you can have a different life. All of you can have a different life, but we can all come together and lead this party toward a future, at least in spirit right now. Oh, she can't drink 24/7 on cam because her parents won't pay the rent. Oh, so they set some standards for you, Bish. I know, and I'm going to get them better. I'm going to give them a free tablet. Yeah, I don't think the Obama phone is enough. I think they need something like the Sponheim tablet. Hang on, Sarah. You misspelled it. You're typing out of the room. Go ahead. America's third party.
Oh, yeah, it's not third.
It's America's third party.
Here, I'll clear the chat.
Oh, that's okay. No, don't clear the chat. No, you're fine. Leave everything. All right. Right, at gmail.com. There you go. All right, we'll wait for your email, and as soon as we get it, we'll get right back on it. Exactly, and I'm not here just to cater to your vote, but I do want to tell you that I feel that the Obama phone was not appropriate. I think we all should get tablets. courtesy of the American government.
I'm not giving her my actual address. I just said I told her to give me her address. It doesn't have to be her actual address, but her mailing address, and I'll send her the shirt.
This shirt?
Yeah, I don't want the shirt.
Why do you want to send her this shirt?
Because she wants it.
Why did she say it was bad?
Because she saw me wear it 2 days ago, and she hates her own life, so she's just acting out and attacking other people.
Sounds like a weird moment. Is she is kind of having one of those Michelle Obama meltdowns? You think? These things happen to a lot of people. They start to lose it. They get depressed. They're a single mother, even though they're married.
I can tell she's smart.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people have to learn it takes, you know, you can catch more flies with honey, more bees with honey. I'd rather catch flies though, they don't have
Looking at new models
I agree,
in
USA
farmers
didn't
markets to,
hijack.
you know, create buses and drive into communities that are underserved. So
Yeah. So you've
we
been
have to
hijacked,
build
in other
the
words.
access. And believe me, as a busy single mother,
Believe me, as a busy single mother. Believe me, as a busy single mother. Believe me, as a busy single mother. Believe me, as a busy single mother.
or I should say single.
Or I should say single. Or
Sorry.
I should say single. Or I should say single. Or
Okay, let's get back to reality here. We're the new future. We don't want to talk. We don't want to be in a negative moment, Bish. So I was trying to take you down the road to seeing what you're becoming. You're becoming kind of like a detraction from yourself. You need to focus on what you enjoy.
And you need to focus, actually, even if you can't focus on what you enjoy, focus on giving positivity to others. And like I'm trying to give you positivity, like I said, I'll give you the shirt off my back.
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah. Because I want to make people feel good.
I know a lot of you have been intimate with Bish, but Bish isn't the subject here. Well, she's becoming kind of like Michelle, in a way.
Yes.
A sideshow unto herself, and it's
really
not fun. Acid, you're being very derogatory toward myself and Sarah, and I think it's time for a ban. You haven't been banned in at least 6 months.
Why did? Oh, because he was calling me something. I just purged him.
I don't mind banning
Don't
him.
hate, congratulate. I know. Think
Okay.
of something positive.
I'll
about
unban
something.
also. Maybe even Topper Dan will come back and stop being such an idiot, you know?
Well, I have to get your address. If you emailed me your address, I'll mail you my shirt. It may take a little while. I'm going to throw it in the wash tomorrow, and then I'll mail it to you.
Ohio is not the most wonderful, well, it is a recreational state. Have you been to the rest areas at Ohio? You can take a shower in the rest areas. Seriously. Bish, if you ever go homeless and your parents kick you out, you can go to those rest areas, and I'm telling you, you could have a really nice little relationship in one of those showers. It'd be fun.
Not all rest areas have showers, do they?
Well, no, some of them do.
Some of them in, like, Ohio. And
Ohio's
certain
good,
places.
yeah. We actually showered in individually, of course. We didn't shower together, but we did a stop off of the 30 minutes away. Yeah, you could shower at that truck stop
And
meet a lot of nice
you
guys.
can go live with Rodney.
I'm sure Rodney
He's
goes
already
through
asked
there.
you to
Yeah.
go live with him, right?
He's asked her to go live with him. Well, Rodney
I'm
would
sure
pay
he'll
your
go pick you up.
Yeah, Rodney would pay your plane fare. I'm sure. The guy's loaded. I mean, he drives a 2008 Mercedes. He must be rich.
Well, he'll get her cleaned up, and then he'll have her working, and then she'll be paying for
I've never seen cleaner showers at truck stops than Ohio, though. I don't think she's going to pay him rent, and I don't think he really even has a plan for that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know that Barack Obama is
That's correct.
clearly not going to be helping you anytime soon, Bish. So
That's correct. That's our email.
yeah, he drives a 2008 Mercedes-Benz. He's real rich. He probably shops at Walmart. He's so rich. Mr. Sponheim, are you a Christian? Well, let's be clear. If I was a Christian,
what would you like?
You would call me. Actually, I'm a Catholic. I was baptized Catholic, so you decide whether I'm Christian or not. Okay.
What would you like to talk about, Captain? I don't like your last name, but okay. That's right. That's right, Don. That's what I drive.
Omar, I'm very sorry. I knew that it was a bad band at the time, and I must tell you, I realized after I banned you that you were complaining about the people that are crapping all over the show, the guests that were doing that. I tell you, no, if you're baptized Catholic, that means you're Catholic for life, according to the Catholic faith. Just like Barack Obama, he was baptized a Muslim, and Muslims feel that that's a permanent state of affairs.
Acid DJ, I feel
Thank you, Omar.
Offended when you say that. I don't know what your problem is with me, so.
She's just jealous. You're so beautiful, and every guy in here is hitting on you. Don't worry about it. It's it's just one of those things.
I was talking to Acid DJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here I was doing selective thinking, not even selective listening. Yeah, but I wasn't even doing selective listening. I was doing selective thinking.
Beautiful.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see?
You always want to talk about David contradicting himself and me contradicting myself, and it just gets ugly. Let's not talk about that.
It's ugly, Captain Coons, a.k.a. the Nazi. You can be baptized in a religion, but don't mean you are that religion. Wrong, Dave. Okay. Well, I don't believe, Laura, that you have been to some of the Catholic rallies of some of even the Reformed Catholics are facing control by the church. Now, I went to the Trinity Broadcasting people and asked them, do you think that Catholics are Christians? And they, in turn, didn't want to comment because it is such a hot topic. Oh, really? So that's your place to judge Christians following a false God? And who are you, one of those Muslims that believe that Allah is the one and only God, kind of like our president? I am not brainwashed by religion, Prickly Pete. I am not in any way religious. People know me. That they know that my work with the parishes and a lot of my evangelical work has been strictly non-religious.
Bish, just go like this. Put your hands together. Go up. There. You've done yoga.
Okay.
And you did it right then.
Yeah.
So now if somebody asks you to,
it's
if
cheaper,
you do yoga.
Yeah, that's actually one of the positions to actually way up in your head.
Yes, I do yoga. I mean, you follow through. You should give yourself you should compliment yourself. You deserve an accomplishment for doing yoga. And all of you, everyone else in the room, deserve an accomplishment for coming into our show tonight. Good job.
Somebody said, David, you're a reptilian, right? I said, no, I'm an American. I'm not reptilian.
Akumi, please keep it positive. Okay? I could rail on you and say you need to learn the correct form of spelling your, because your, Y-O-U-R, without the apostrophe, means belonging to somebody, and you are is two words that go together, and when they go together, they're called conjunctions.
Conjunction, junction,
so
what's your function?
That's when you use an apostrophe,
yes.
R-E. Okay, so let's keep it positive. If you don't have something nice to say, just don't type it.
Right.
Yes, it's a contraction, not a conjunction. Thank you. But, and,
thank
or,
you.
so are
right.
conjunctions.
Good point.
Yes, thank you very much. Chicken time bags is correct. Okay.
Okay, somebody said, I don't appear to be a reptilian.
There you go, Akumi. That's a little bit better.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a reptilian. I don't look a bit like this guy.
No. What do you think of this FBI's hidden and secret investigation of the Fab Four, and why the FBI cares so much about celebrities as well?
I'm not sure.
As if there is an agenda at work aimed at keeping the public obsessed with stars.
True.
Rather
Hello
than
there.
What's really going around in the world.
That's so true. Hello there. I mean,
point.
How often do we hear about, J-Lo and Brad Pitt and the whole Angelina Jolie thing, or the Kardashians. It's all sidetrack. It's part of COINTELPRO. It's designed to keep our mind diverted. We started the show talking about how they're keeping us like a bunch of diverted sheep, unable to really understand anything.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
let's be
not
clear.
always
Thank you.
positive Meow TV too. Sometimes I'm more like, sit down now before I have a cow.
Yeah, Sarah can be very assertive. True.
But now you're happy because you see David and I. Oh, I'm smiling. David's smiling.
I was smiling. Hey, I'll be smiling a lot more soon. I'm going to be getting a whole new face, a happy face.
How about the housing system in the future? I'm so glad you asked that, Kat. That is one of David's base tenets.
Yeah, the housing plan.
Of that, and I will let him explain it to you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited to say that last week we had a breakthrough moment in our show. Many people thought I was having a blow-up episode and was getting really like going ballistic, but I was just expressing myself in an incredibly vehement way because I'm really very, very strongly a supporter of housing at all levels, even if you have no money, even if you have no job, even if you don't want to work. I still believe that you could have a tent in the tent cities that we want to build in America. Yeah, so tent cities would be the first layer of the housing crisis for those of you who just want to sit around on your ass and do nothing. And we'd offer a full shower opportunity, a hot water shower, or it's a warm water shower. You won't have control over the dials. It'll just be a warm water shower. You hit the button. You'll have a washing and dryer machine, and you'll have a mailbox at every one of the tent cities. So that's the place that you're probably going to find yourself if you don't want to do a damn thing. A shower opportunity, yes. If you food-wise, there's going to be food banks and things for all of you worthless, useless, do-nothings. We'll have that. But for those of you that want to work, this is part of our Baseline Plus plan. You'd get a house, an opportunity to work for a house. Yes, yes. And you get a kitchenette in a motel room. For some of you who are disabled, you'll have a voucher, and the voucher will be cashed by the state-owned or the federal government-owned Motel Deluxe with a kitchenette in every room. So this is the concept, and then if you really want, keep working in the program and renovating houses, painting walls, fixing up things, you could actually earn a down payment on a house that is from the program, the Homestead Renewal Plan, and you'll be able to own a house in 10 years with $500 a month payments. That's the plan in a nutshell, and it's a great way for people to get their sweat equity in there and earn a house and get the country to flip houses. America can flip houses. Omar, I think I do too, and I want you to do everything you can to promote me on the internet. I know you guys don't have a lot of money.
The one caveat, of course, is this depends on how many resources the government has available.
Yeah, everything is all based on that, but even the tent cities solution, I will fund. I'm going to get donators, people that are going to put their money, benefactors. Look at Bill Gates just offered $50 million for fighting the Ebola thing, the Gates Foundation. I can get we can get $1 million at least to get this thing off the ground from Bill Gates, I'm sure. Bottom line is, if we help Americans starting out with all these plans, we'll be helping to grow our nation. Going over and helping Ebola victims die won't be helping our nation much. And you know those people that are going over there, those 3,000 men and women who are controlled? Thanks. Well, we don't need to go there. We go there every night on Monday nights and Tuesday nights. We talk about conspiracies, and Tuesdays we talk about conspiracy facts. Conspiracy facts are really things that have become obvious at this point. But you can come back Monday and Tuesday. We can talk about all your concerns about the layer of COINTELPRO that's going on in our country to keep us diverted from focusing on solutions like peace. But thanks for your concern. Yeah, believe me, I'm on it too. We need to build a coalition to stop these freaks. They are corrupt, and they are in charge of our country right now. What about the FEMA trailers? We already have FEMA trailers that can be retrofitted to be these kind of vehicles, actually. Yeah, we don't need screening centers, we need solution centers. Centers that can actually provide services for people. Anyway, the problem is really serious. Obama hasn't mentioned homelessness in the past 6 years. And I know that many of you realize there are people that you probably know in your family that are starting to get nearly homeless. And we expect a lot of families to reach out and help people who are homeless, but you've always got people who just don't want family help. Mental health, we're going to apportion a solid amount of money for recovery centers, but not the kind that make a lot of money. We want a national-based recovery center that does not fleece you for your dollars. You got a new weekend score? Thank you.
We're against the government being involved in people's personal relationships.
Well, it's not just lithium, Mad Dog, it's fluoride. Yeah, I don't want the government involved in personal lives. I think it's a breach of separation of church and state. No, Dungholia, only in your mind. Yeah, we're really talking about problems here. Having a home is fine, but if the mortgage is less of a problem, banks offer it for nothing, but people don't realize they have a lot of maintenance through the years. The banks count on naive purchasers. True, DT Laura.
That's very true. They don't realize, you know, you have to maintain your lawn. I mean, sometimes renters do that too, but it's like lawn maintenance, roofing, leaks, you know, whatever, toilet breaks down, anything that breaks down. If you're a renter, you just call the landlord. If you own it, you gotta fix it.
Yeah, what we're going to do with Obamacare, and we talk about this during the week as well, or we usually talk about health care on Wednesday, but with Obamacare, we've got a plan to create mobile medical units in every city in the country that will provide care for people at a low cost, and this will be integrated with the VA system. And I'll be able to implement this into policy within the first year. We'll have these things up and running in various cities. Obamacare, we're going to nullify Obamacare. I'd like to do everything I can to nullify it. Congress is going to have to repeal it. You guys can decide if you vote Republican in the coming Senate race and representative race. In this November election, a lot of you, if you vote Republican, chances are you'll be able to nullify. And they'll also be able to work on rescinding the Obamacare law, overturning it. It turns out that the Senate this past year made it really easy with a 51% vote to overturn the Obamacare plan, or any law for that matter. The Senate is so confident they're going to remain Democrat that they think that they just need 51% to rule. Now this could flip to the Republicans in this election, and if that happens, you definitely will see Obamacare repealed, for sure. I'm almost positive they can garnish 51% in the House and the Senate. So very likely will be reversals all over the place. Obamacare was a failure to begin with, and a lot of people I've talked to have faced 40% higher charges and ridiculous deductibles, and it's just a nightmare. It was a chance for big corporate healthcare providers to make big money, and that's what Obama did. He pushed that in front of our face, and I think he was passed illegally with reconciliation. I cannot use an executive order to repeal congressional legislation. You got to understand, it was not a democratically voted on thing. When Richard Nixon passed an executive order putting marijuana on the list of controlled substances, that I can repeal. Congress didn't choose to put marijuana on the list of controlled substances. If they ratified it, that would be a shock to me. I don't even think they ratified it. So it's just a reversal of an executive order there. But something as big as Obamacare, landmark legislation that I think was passed illegally with reconciliation, yeah, we can begin to work on a congressional level, but I can guide people in that direction. I won't be a congressman per se, but I can guide people in that direction. Yes, we will pardon all nonviolent marijuana offenders and any low-level drug offenders. If you got caught with a little crack, we'll let you out in a staged, methodical manner from jail. We don't want you wasting our tax dollars because you got caught with a little crack. Okay, reconciliation is a small process through which the House subcommittees developed a plan to get budgeting to correctly provide enough budget for an act to pass. It was never designed to pass landmark legislation. It was designed to tweak legislation so that it would actually have enough funding to pass. That's what reconciliation was. I did, no, I smoke marijuana. Do you smoke hash? You like it? No, TMZ is incorrect. I do not have a sex tape. Was never done. I have a romance video, but there's no sex in it. But Sarah and I kissed a couple times on camera. It was a beautiful video, but Sarah will not allow me to release it to the public. No, I mean, if we do, it'll be extremely important, and we'll probably make a serious statement when we do. I'm not a crackhead. I've never done crack in my entire life, unlike our President Obama. Well, make no mistake about it. Barack Obama did a lot of crack at Oxtown. No, our romance video is not on Netflix, but we will put it on Netflix someday if you really want to, download it. Acumi, online is the only way we've got at this point. I tried to explain that to many people before. The fact is, the mainstream media will not allow us to get into any venue to talk about politics. They've resisted all access points for us for many years now. And the reality is, I tried to run for a local primary recently, and I was unfortunately a victim of cheating. The Democrats and Republicans literally cheated to push me into third place and drop me out of the election. Yeah, it really did happen. Larceny, exactly. Well, now I'm concerned that this whole thing has just gotten really bad across the country. The Democrats, Republicans will do everything to keep power. So they'll cheat to retain their power. It won't matter. So I can't really run as a mayor. I can't really run as a House of Representatives without facing a huge amount of cheating. Now, we've already seen more than 50% of my signs stolen in the primary. That's what happened to me. Oh, God. I unban you and you come in with this? Why did I unban you? God. You got to do better on your approach. I will be taken seriously, and the reality is they can't stop what's coming. I will continue forging forward on the internet, and will break ties with all known freaks of nature, and we'll just keep moving forward. We need good people, and I think we got a solid group of good people that know about us and would stand behind us. Omar, this is not about talking about women in a derogatory way. I'm really concerned that Omar is Rodney. Yeah, I'm beginning to think he sounds more and more like Rodney's alter ego. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Vish, it sounds like you should definitely go check out AA. And, they have, if you look in the yellow pages at the front, or they have AA support groups. So they have phone numbers, and you should call them.
Okay, this just in: 14 ISIS fighters killed when rocket they were firing filled with chlorine explodes prematurely in a jihad work incident.
Captain said the Controlled Substances Act was passed by Congress and signed into law by Richard Nixon. So he's saying it was not an executive order that made it. It was a congressional act, according to him.
I believe it was put in play by Richard Nixon when he put it on the list of controlled substances. Yeah, I would beg to differ. Could you cite an example, some sort of a reference?
You just did.
Show me. Where is it?
Controlled Substances Act was passed by the 91st United States Congress as Title II of the Comprehensive Drug Abuse
Okay, and signed into law by President Richard Nixon. Yeah, okay, fine. We can reverse that with an executive order. Thanks, Kat. Appreciate it.
And then he's going to ask you the next question, which is, if you can reverse that with an executive order, why can't you reverse Obamacare with an executive order?
It's a good argument. I'll give you that. Sure, let's go ahead and reverse Obamacare with an executive order. It's relatively meaningless because in the big picture, anyone could tell you that executive orders don't really have that much power relative to a congressional act. But regarding legalization of marijuana, I have legitimate reasons, and it's not just an executive order that would legitimize these reasons. I have reasons to overturn the act, the Substance Control Act. I have the simple fact that medical marijuana has proven to be medicinal, and we can use that as a legal argument because no item on that list of controlled substances can be medicinal. Everything on those lists, like heroin, is not medicinal. Morphine and opium-related products are not medicinal. They alleviate pain, but they don't improve your health. That's the important thing.
Yes, if I've given more evidence that it's true about a time travel program, I would expose that to the American people.
Captain Coons, you know, the fact that he signed it into law and can be reversed with an executive order is a statement I've made over and over again, and I believe it's possible.
Captain, you have a good point. You don't have to listen to us.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye. Thanks, Captain Coons, for coming in.
I didn't mean to ban him. I'm just saying,
Oh,
go
well,
away.
well, let's unban everybody. Hang on.
Whatever. You can ban him. You can.
Okay. I thought you were
I'm not saying
unbanning
if I
everybody.
were going to ban him, yeah.
Anyway, I can go to the mat on this issue, claiming that medical marijuana is medicinal, and I can argue that we need to legally overturn the Substance Control Act, and then do it using that method. We can use an executive order to spearhead this, but the same with Obamacare. I could go after Obamacare, claiming that we can overturn it, and then go ahead and claim that it uses illegal constitutional legal references and allowing for reconciliation to create landmark legislation should have been deemed an illegal constitutional act. But then it would migrate to the Supreme Court, which would then probably hold up their original decree that it's a legal use and an expansion of the General Welfare Clause that Chief Justice Roberts invoked when he justified it and claimed that it could be used and taxed. So we don't necessarily want to go to the mat with the Supreme Court on Obamacare, so I would urge every state to nullify it.
Not intentionally, I would say, Captain.
I'm not sure if you're getting punished, Omar. Do you not care about? I'm not deceiving anybody. An executive order can certainly overturn any kind of an act that is clearly illegally derived or developed. Anything medicinal on the list of controlled substances should be removed, okay? Now, we are finding out that marijuana is proving to be medicinal. We need to modernize the research and certainly apply that research to the Substance Control Act.
We're not turning on Skype tonight.
Yeah, it can be passed by Congress, but oh my God, seriously. It can be overturned with an executive order declaring that it is medicinal and definitely will serve people medicinally, which automatically removes it from the list of controlled substances. There's ample amounts of scientific evidence to back that up. Yeah. No, I'm not in any way like Obama. In fact, he doesn't do anything. We'll work through Congress if we have to. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be patient with the legalization plan, but repealing it from the list of controlled substances is on my agenda. That's not something I'll equivocate on.
I just don't. Yeah, anyway.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about GMOs and the work that I could do to spearhead a non-GMO plan. Let me talk about the law, the patent law, on GMOs and how we've recently seen Supreme Court rulings move in a direction that shows promise for removing the GMO patents that Dow and Monsanto have. Seriously. So yeah, there's precedent, again, an executive order claiming that GMOs should be considered an organism that, just like the human body, cannot be patented. The ruling this past year by the Supreme Court shows that anyone who is trying to genetically modify the human organism cannot get a patent on it unless that organism is made with something other than carbon. Now that's an interesting ruling because it applies to GMOs as well. And the same type of approach I would use. I pass an executive order declaring that GMOs cannot be patented because they clearly fit into the category of a carbon-based organism, much like human tissue. And then we'll migrate to the Supreme Court on that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case, Omar. You're starting to sound a little weird. I support democracy, but yeah, you're just kind of going off the deep end here. Thanks, Kat. I air from the Long Beach area. I actually went to Long Beach State for 6 weeks, and I pulled out. I decided I didn't want to continue in that college. I wasted 6 weeks of my time going to class and everything at Long Beach State. Yeah, I didn't really like the entire approach that they had, Cal State Long Beach. I was kind of upset at a Marxist professor I had. A couple of them were actually Marxists. I had the same problem at UCLA. Yeah, well, so a lot of people do that tick in time, and they have a baby. And the end result is they have a little baby. Okay. So the process is simple. A president is not unable to make choices and decrees. A president can lead. And I'm trying to explain this to Kuhn, whatever his name is, Captain Coons, that as I pass the executive order, I'll also be putting forth the necessary scientific references to make it apparent that the law no longer applies to marijuana. Similarly, we'll make every reference to the fact that Obamacare was passed illegally, and we'll migrate it. We'll have the Justice Department migrate that through the Supreme Court. We may have to file in a federal appellate court in order to do this, but we'll get the ball rolling, okay? Now, the American people, obviously, 58% of the American people want to legalize marijuana. That's a fact. These facts have actually been discussed publicly. Polls show that the American people want to legalize marijuana. No, I've not flip-flopped at all on marijuana or Obamacare. I've always said I will pass an executive order. What about this do you not understand? I will pass an executive order legalizing marijuana, removing it from the list of controlled substances. I've said that time and time again for the past, what, 5, 6 years?
Or
Seriously.
If you can't ignore him, then kick him out.
Well, I wish the ignore feature worked. Does it?
Maybe.
Let's try it. Okay, thanks, Captain Coons. And I'm not so sure you aren't the Nazi, but thank you. No. Once I legalize marijuana, it won't be hard to get it all. People will be able to grow it in their basement legally and smoke it themselves and make teas out of it and save their kids from serious neurological disorders by juicing it. Tonight I'll play a leaf for all of you who are completely in the dark on when it comes to marijuana and its benefits. Yeah. Anyway, this is a Make Love Not War rally. It's an anti-war rally, so if you don't understand what we're doing, get on the same page. I have never committed to overturning Obamacare because it's too difficult, okay? And I cannot be sidetracked with ridiculous, massive legal battles when I need to get the country rolling again. Yeah, I'm not flip-flopping at all. But technically, you're right, Prickly Pete. I can have an evolving belief system, and I can certainly change my views if I want. Dude, like, what makes you think, like, I'm not, like, munching on edibles now, man? No, I'm not really on opiates or any kind of marijuana to speak of. But, you know, if you smoke a joint, like, a couple days ago, it could still be in your system. Seriously. Like, if I had been to a party last night, Friday night, you know, some guy went up to me and said, "Hey, dude, you want to hit on this joint, man?" Sure, dude. Well, why not? No, I don't do drugs like that. I really think that marijuana is so benign and natural. I'm not taking baking of Obamacare. I'm not going to be able to repeal Obamacare if that's what you're asking me. But I really do believe I have the legal references necessary to pass or remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances. But the argument that reconciliation was an unconstitutional use is there, and it was never pursued by the Republicans, so technically I could do that. We could pursue reconciliation as the legal flaw in the Obamacare plan. And that's what I would urge my legal team in the Justice Department to do. I don't consider smoking weed a drug. No. I think marijuana is an herb. Medical marijuana saved Sausage's life here, folks. He's attesting to it. Now, Sarah has never smoked marijuana. Never will. Yeah, but I'm just telling you, this is how it's going to go. You guys can, you know, especially the Kuhn guy, can pick me apart and try to find flaws in my arguments, but frankly, there are none. I'm standing next to a legitimate methodology which has worked time and time again in other presidencies, where, let me give you an example. President George W. Bush, during Katrina, reversed a law that actually required employers to pay a set amount of contract wages, even federal employers. And he was able to do that just so that the federal government wouldn't have to pay extreme amounts of money. I believe it was the Smith-Bacon Act, if I'm not is it the Smith-Bacon or the Bacon-Dixon Act? You remember that one? Let me look that up. I think it's the Bacon-Dixon Act.
That's a Bacon-Davis?
Bacon-Davis, thank you. At the Bacon-Davis Act, let me show you the legal references here. Hang on. Yeah, this is good. This is exactly what you need to look at right here. The Davis-Bacon Act.
Davis-Bacon.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you exactly the references here that would make everything clear to you, okay? In the United States, that established requirement for paying the local prevailing wages on public works projects for laborers and mechanics, okay?
Mad Dog, you really don't want me to give this shirt to Bish?
The Davis-Bacon Act was reversed by George W. Bush. That's right. The Davis-Bacon Act was reversed by George W. Bush during Katrina. And that is something as a precedent of how a president can reverse an act. Okay? Does that help you? It's not the first time it's ever been done. And it can be done again, especially with the campaign to legalize or make marijuana on the list of controlled substances. All right, moving on. It's a very good argument. Yeah, but I haven't even gotten to the anti-weed argument. Yeah, I support marijuana legalization right down the road. I will not in any way buckle on that. And I'm going to carry that message forward in the beginning of the campaign. That's a front-forward issue for me. I'm an organic 2014 version of George and Martha Washington. That's funny. Good for you. Well, Bada Bing, a.k.a. I believe you're Rodney. Is that right, Bada Bing? Your fantasy inventions are more than fantasy inventions. I'm actually in the prototype development on 2 of my inventions right now. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to reverse Homeland Security, but like I said, I want to get rid of the TSA, phase them out. So as Commander-in-Chief of our military, I can actually station them at our ports of entry and essentially tell the TSA, we don't need the TSA. So they'll begin to fire the TSA to replace them with National Guardsmen. So there are ways I can control the allocation of funds and certain procurements that are involving national defense. As president, I'll be able to make choices that will dictate how much we spend. In the case of the military budget, I would not have authorized NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that was authorized this past year by Obama. It was a $692 billion plan to basically fund tons of military industrial leaders and make our country even more drained of finances. I agree Homeland Security has become an over-costly burden on our country's budget and the amount of time we have to spend at the airport. So Subadu, what we want to do is get a faster way of getting people on a plane and boarding, and I've got a couple ideas that will really make that work. Biometric analysis at the airports, using thermographic analysis of the foreheads of people walking in the terminal, will red flag anybody who's in very high stress situation, and usually a person who's a potential for a bombing incident would be walking in very high stress. We can also use spectroscopic analysis of the air around the cars that come in the front way. We could have scanners that scan all the cars that come in the airports. These are the kind of inventions that need to be put in play in America, not rapid scanners. All our rapid scanners that are currently tasked to do body scans, I'm going to direct our National Guardsmen and women and Coast Guardsmen and women to use the rapid scanners on luggage, okay? I know that the scanners that I'm talking about, biometric ones, will cost money, but I'm going to focus on using what we have on luggage. And we'll go back to the magnetic metal detectors that we currently have in our closets at the TSA. and we're going to do more metal scanners and things like that. Well, good ideas usually come cheap, but they deploy expensively if you don't watch every penny and every dollar. Not rapid scanners. We're talking about rapid scanners, RAPID. I distill my water, yes.
Reverse osmosis.
Reverse osmosis, yeah. We are a heavily monitored sausage. Our privacy is eroded to the point where if you're watching porn at night, the NSA is watching you watch porn. So someone in the NSA is probably touching themselves indecently by saying, wow, you really have good quality porn on your internet. It's that ridiculous. I mean, there's no solid security anymore. There's evidence that even our computer systems have been tripped with fake chips that have a backdoor to the NSA. I know. And the NSA is getting very kinky. So I'm not really concerned because I have done nothing wrong as a citizen. I support our country. I support our government. But I want to modify our government. I want to get rid of the corrupt pigs that are running our government. Now you'll notice the selection of words that I use. The purpose of those select words, corrupt pigs that are running our government, is to get you to wake up. Yeah, the NSA really is spying. They're watching over 100 million of our emails a year. They're keeping all of the transmissions, even chat transmissions, on redundant servers for up to 18 months. Barack Obama signed a bill, again, an executive order into law recently, giving the government the ability to actually store all that data, require the stored data to be on the communication and telecommunication carriers. So they have to hold on to it for 18 months. Many are watching, yeah. No, they do. And I got to tell you, the supercomputers that are out there not only have the time to watch that, they can do this in a nanosecond. They can watch keywords in every single chat. Like if somebody's using a keyword like Al-Qaeda in their conversation over their phone, those go through the data collection center at Bluffdale, Utah. Bluffdale, Utah is the center of a $4 billion complex developed by the NSA about 4 years ago, in which, nice, good for you, sausage. Well, they basically created a tremendous terminal that watches everything. And everything is sorted based on a hierarchy of importance. In the case of keywords like Al-Qaeda, it moves you higher in the list. And the higher you go, no, you can type all of it, but if you were running around making these phone conversations all over the place, thank you, you would definitely be on a list somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not saying this because I'm making it up out of thin air. They've admitted to doing all of this surveillance. Look at the surveillance of the AP by the Justice Department. All the emails, what, 50 million emails across the nation have been watched as well, over 100 million in total. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you're on the list. I'm telling you, it could be a VIP list. I don't want the NSA to be our enemy. I want the NSA to understand they need to back off, way off. Domestic surveillance is a no-no. And that's the overriding message that I'm going to put forth with the NSA. Yes, foreign intelligence is maximally important. Yes, we have to make sure that money transfers aren't being made, especially involving terrorism. Yeah, Anna Kaza has made a very important question about moving the military around and handpicking the crew now in place. This is exactly what Barack Obama did. Actually, Hitler did the same thing with his many different attempts, the Night of Long Knives, where he eliminated certain people in his military. Obama's done the same very thing that Hitler did, ironically, to cull anybody who doesn't want to go along with their New World Order agenda. Now, coming up on Monday and Tuesday, we talk about the New World Order agenda. Clearly, it's behind our anti-war concerns. This idea of generating disinformation about fear of terror, how we are all getting more fearful constantly about terrorism. That's all artificially derived by our government to create the background for a war. And that's exactly what's happening. And we talk about that on Monday. And their agenda, their long-term agenda, is to create a new world order using America as their police force. So we are essentially living in the nation of the men and women who have fought and died for our nation are now being, all the good work that they did fighting wars, especially World War II, is now being hijacked by a group that has an agenda called the New World Order agenda. And our country is being used as a police force around the world. Well, you could say everything Hitler did was legal, but that's, again, not the point. Despotic leaders can manipulate law to pass anything they want and make it legal. I have a great quote from Henry Kissinger that I could certainly give you right now, but I need to get into the chat room. Let me see what I can do here. David Rockefeller has a couple of points he's made about that as well, about his agenda. The conspiracy agenda is pretty strong, and they'll do anything to pass legislation that will get their end goals fulfilled. I think it's Obama. Look at Lindsey Graham and his statement about the recent NSA spying on us. You have nothing to hide if you have nothing to fear. Lindsey Graham, United States Senator from South Carolina. Same thing, same words were uttered, but in a reverse pattern. Joseph Goebbels, the Minister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda. You have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide. I mean, these are telltale signs of our nation being used by the same global elitists that essentially constructed Hitler's rise to power. So we are very concerned that this is happening again, and they're using every means possible. They want to put Hillary up there to run the country. And I must tell you, I think that they're making a critical mistake. This woman isn't capable of doing anything in a strong, decisive way. She's clearly a manipulated pawn of the New World Order, much like Barack Obama and George W. Bush. I think she's reacting terribly there to what I just said. But the reality is they're all working for the same group of sick industrial leaders. And they've been working this plan for a long, long time. And believe me, I'm not going to be able to walk in as a third-party candidate or even as a president leading this nation and just interrupt their plan and somehow take it over. Their plan goes deep. And they're willing to do whatever it takes, including assassinate a world leader, to fulfill their plan. Okay, thank you. It's dark pretty early now, I noticed. Yeah, I got some good quotes. I just don't have them handy right now. Here's an interesting picture of the back of Obama's head. I want you all to look at something that I think a lot of people haven't noticed. You see that scar on the back of his head? It's on the right side. We don't even know what the deal is with that. No one really has any clue. But in making the headset I have for the show coming up, I actually have to build a right scar into the head cap that I'm developing. So it's kind of strange. I was just looking at that. But yeah, their whole plan is pretty much ironclad and foolproof. There's not a lot we as average people can do to interrupt their New World Order plan to take global domination over all nations, using America as the police force. Turn up guest on idiot. Bada bing, what? Wow. Got a lot of anger, man. I think you need to take a chill pill. Go back to the club and hang out with the ladies. Maybe you'll meet Tony Soprano, even though he's dead. Well, I'm not angry like Bada Bing, Ellen. Yeah. No, well, the New World Order has been in full effect for some time. We just obviously are catching up on this whole thing in a slow, methodical pattern. They put anybody in the White House. They can put a flaming homosexual in the White House if they want. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, here's the joke of all. I've never been in Stormfront, Killicam. I'm not. If they're building games around my face, they must see the future. Obviously, I don't control other people who see into the future. Ticking time does not approve of homophobia. Okay. And I don't either. I don't want to discriminate against any homosexual or transgender or lesbian. But I can truly say that if we hadn't found out about Obama's homosexuality, had we found out about his homosexuality earlier than later, he probably would have been looked upon differently by people and their vote would have changed. No, I'm not in any way a homophobe. I don't like people who are staring at my ass. Yeah, I hate sexual harassment. I'm very angry at sexual harassment. So anybody who stands there and goes is really disturbing to me. No, I like gays, but I don't want them hitting on me. I mean, get the hell out of me. I mean, go away. Get the hell out of me. That sounded like they were in me. Good thing you weren't a girl. You'd get it constantly everywhere. Nicole, tell me about it. Yeah, I'm freaked out by how women are objectified, and I feel for all of you ladies. I really do. Yeah, get the hell out of me. That was some sort of a Freudian slip, but you support all naturally born gays. However, I do support the way of, you do not support the engineered gays. Right, the way of child pedophilia. I see your point. You know, I met a guy on our radio show that actually came on the show. He was like 18-year-old guy. He said, "Yeah, both my parents are gay, and I grew up with a gay mother and a gay father." I said, "Oh, so how's that working out for you?" "Well, I met a lot of gays online, but I'm not. I don't think." Oh. And then the guy called in and said, who was his gay friend, and I got this guy with tuberculosis on the line. It's in the recorded archives of our radio show, and he gets on there and he goes, "I teach boys how to be gay." He actually said that. He actually said he teaches boys how to be gay. "Hey, buddy, get a job, discount. You want Rodney? I'll give you Rodney." Yeah. Isn't it sick? I had the guy on the show. It was just disgusting. Why even waste our time thinking you're going to be president? Killicam, calling me a dumbass? Okay. Why not waste my time thinking I'll be president, considering I will be president, you freak of nature? Hey, discount, get a job. I knew you were hiding as Omar Daly, yeah. It had to be a new name tonight, Rodney. Yeah, you were getting kind of washed out with your old names. I know. Topper Dan was removed from the show, Subi Boop. Yeah. Well, dead. Bring him on, man. I don't care if shoes are thrown at my head. Yeah, I don't. You think I care? I won't duck like Hillary did and George W. did. When's the show start, discount? Well, that's a good question. Started when you were born. Oh no, I triggered a memory. He actually had a memory of when he was actually aware of things. Here's Tom Cruise on Scientology.
Tom Cruise on Tom Cruise, Scientologist.
I think you should call yourself a Scientologist, and it's something that you have to earn. And because a Scientologist does, he or she has the ability to, or she has the ability, or she has the ability, or she has the ability.
All right, we missed the call. Sorry. Would love to talk, but got too many things going on. Great movie, yeah. All right, so do you want to see more of Barack giving a little farewell kiss to his buddy Jay? Mwah. Yeah, wasn't that cute? Let's talk about more relevant things than Obama's homosexuality, okay? I just don't think we need to go there. Well, if you want to go there, we can. I mean, it's up to you. Let me see if I can fade out. Kind of reminds me of Stuart Smalley a little bit. Remember him?
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Yeah. He became a U.S. Senator. Okay, let's move on here. We've got to address the chat. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting. David, before I vote, I'm going to see proof you and Sarah engaged in sexual activity. I cannot vote for another closeted gay. Proof of sexual activity? That's pretty bizarre, dude. You sound like you're freaked out on some weird drug. He wants to smell my finger? That's really weird. Read more. Okay, Omar, you're no longer having any real cognitive discussion here with anyone. You're now engaging in the lowest possible act of a psycho. You're gone to the fringe. I hate it when people insinuate I'm gay. I really do. I really do. I'd much rather talk about, you know, these kind of things. You know, what is this all about? I can't even get my head in that position. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's impossible. It's just impossible. How did she do that? I mean, that's like the hardest position a person can get their head in. Okay, moving on. What will be your gender? We may get married in the White House. That, you know, Grover Cleveland was married in the White House to a very young woman. Research it. Not the weather in Cleveland. I'm talking about Grover Cleveland. Usually your own insecurities are guessing someone's sexuality. Okay. Usually own insecurities guessing someone's sexuality. Yeah, well, I've always accused people who are questioning my sexuality to be gay. You know what I found really empty-headed and mindless? Is a lot of you focus constantly on sex. Yes, we're thinking of getting married in the Rose Garden. I'd like to pull up a beautiful, like a view of the two of us. Yeah, like in the Rose Garden. That'd be kind of nice. Hey, Wandell's therapist, how are you? Yeah, I know exactly the place. You just snorted a couple lines? Kill cam, why? That's a mistake. This is a picture of the Rose Garden at the White House. And this could be Sarah and I, like, right in the middle of it. Sure. Anything's possible, I mean, when you think about it. The Obama statue is going up in Jakarta, businessman? Are you serious? Are you in Jakarta right now? Check that out, businessman. We missed it. Sorry. Well, let's be clear. David is a hetero. You're in Indonesia right now? Wow, you're really getting out there, man. How the heck do you get to Indonesia? Are you working on some big deals or something? Man, you are a businessman. Well, are you visiting some of Barack Obama's old hangouts when he was in the Madrasah in Indonesia? Thank you, Punjanoder, for supporting me. He's a businessman. Well, let's be clear. Yeah. I'm impressed, businessman. I had no idea the music business would take you to Indonesia. Man, you've been doing some big things, man. I'm telling you, it's not cheap to go out there and travel. What time is it there, Rodney? He's questioning your authenticity. Yeah, this could be me. I could be standing there next to Sarah, and we could be talking. Yeah, let me put myself in the rose garden. Let me bring Sarah in. Am I mean? Well, you a businessman. I mean, you are a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's funny. There's so many pictures of me, but not enough of Sarah. It's like I'm really having a hard time finding a picture of Sarah, actually. Cora, I don't plan on going on the White House grounds. Thank you for asking, unless I'm elected president. Wow. A lot of you have a lot of hatred. You know, I can't process all your hatred. Yeah, we've removed almost all of Sarah's pictures from the show. Isn't that weird? Well, I can't even stand in the rose garden with you. It's like, where are you? Oh, I know where you are. Let's put you in the middle. Now this would be if Charlie Sheen and I were in the rose garden. Let me just move Charlie Sheen's face over. And there we are. Okay. There you go. And then I could be talking to Sarah in the rose garden. And we could have a visitor somewhere else. Is everyone getting a repeat when Dave is talking? I'm repeating everything I can for you, Carrying Angel. Thank you. We're maintaining constant laughter here. Rodney, you have too many pictures of Sarah. We know that. Well, let's be clear. Rodney is obsessed. Yeah, but I don't have enough pictures of other people. It's kind of sad because when you think about it, I don't want to be, you know, some narcissist who constantly lives in some world of my own love, you know, because I don't see myself as a narcissist, although some people see me as a narcissist. I don't. Let's get somebody else in the show. Like, how about this guy? Yeah, he could be standing here. Okay. This guy and us will be in the rose garden. How's that? Okay, Rodney, are you in Sons of Anarchy? Yeah, it's a good question. Rodney, did you do any voiceovers for Sons of Anarchy? Diane Lynn Savage. Oh, wow. We've got her Facebook account.
Hey, Patriots. I am going to try to keep my cool, but I can't promise anything. I read an article today that I think everybody needs to know about, and I'm not sure why our politicians haven't told us about this, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So now we have the UN that is going to come in and dump between 200,000 and 250,000 Muslim refugees into America. And then when I go to the article that discusses that, I want to point out a few things here. Most of them are going to come from Somalia and Iraq. Syria could soon be added to the mix. Obama's administration has been greasing the skids for the Syrian refugees for months. WND, which is the source of which this article has come from, has learned, and the refugees will soon be dumped on American cities throughout the U.S.
Wow.
In February, the State Department moved to ease the rules that protect the U.S. from accepting refugees with potential ties to terrorist organizations.
This is Diane Lynn Savage. We're going to jump out of that, take the call now from we got a caller here. Who's calling? Who is this?
Yeah, this is the producer and creator of America's Third Party.
Sorry, you are absolutely wrong. No, you are not the producer and creator. That's an outright lie, Rodney. Admit it's a lie or be hung up on.
So this guy was...
you didn't hear my question? Man. Admit it's a lie or I'll hang up on you. Okay, we're at a standpoint.
You're acknowledging that there's the potential of it being true.
There's no chance of it being true. No, you don't produce anything on this show. Why don't you get your act together and start approaching this show with a little respect? I'll tell you, I got no respect. I got chunks of guys like you in my stools.
Discount, why do you sound like you're transmitting from Mars again, brother?
Because you're on a phone, and I'm not your brother. Well, what's this thing with you calling me brother all the time? I mean, what are you, my brother from another mother? I mean, come on, man. Don't be calling me your brother. I'm your brother, baby. Now, we all love train, and this isn't some sort of a ride. You know what I'm saying? All right, thanks, Flyman. We're tired of this guy. Question, go ahead. What's your question?
Hello, Discount.
Hello, Discount. Go ahead.
Yeah, what are, in your opinion, are the two most important news stories of the past week?
Seriously? You really want to go down that road? Well, 130,000 hazmat suits were ordered by the CDC. That's an important news story. The 3,000 men sent to Ebola land, Ebola hell, that's an important news story. Which of those two is more important? Let's group those in one. All right. Scotland no longer wanting independence from England, that's not as important as Syrian strikes virtually breaching Bashar al-Assad's airspace with strikes into Syrian airspace to get rid of ISIS forces. That's probably the second most important news story this past week. What's your most important news story, Rodney?
Hey, when you're elected, what are you going to do to put the proper amount of pressure on Saudi Arabia to get the kingdom to begin to participate in Middle East security concerns?
Well, obviously, they've already participated quite a bit. We want to make sure that they stop sending some of the young men off to fight rebel forces. They're basically fighting as the rebels in ISIS and ISIL land against Bashar al-Assad. I would ask simply that the King Abdullah not encourage shipments of young men into that region, even though I think he's doing it to keep a jihadist revolution from occurring in Saudi Arabia. He's got a large group of very loosely controlled young men who are from middle-class families in Saudi Arabia. They're now being turned into veritable terrorists and sanctioned by our government to be sent in there to attack Bashar al-Assad. So I would probably intercede right there and ask them to not do that. There's not a lot I can do to dictate how they conduct their own country. Now, it's clearly not a democracy. Saudi Arabia is a monarchy, and there's no reason why we could possibly impose our will upon them. And that's a distinct difference between our approach and Barack Obama's approach to politics in the Middle East. We cannot export democracy around the world. Our top military advisors have always said that it's a failure, an automatic failure, to export democracy to other countries. And that's exactly what Obama's been doing, and I think that's an immediate change. And I think Saudi Arabia will be very happy to hear that. That'll actually be heard with good response, no doubt.
Well, I agree on your take and not pushing democracy, but it would be fair to say that, you know, for Saudi Arabia to, in fact, be a good partner to the United States and the coalition, they need to do more on their end.
Oh, really? Okay.
The country has more potential of being a detriment to our well-being than perhaps Iran.
Well, why don't you suck up to King Abdullah like Barack Obama did? You sound like you want to bend over. Jeez, what's your problem?
And this show isn't about your sexual fantasy.
No, it's not my sexual fantasy. I'm talking about, no, it's more than that. It's about a country that has obviously helped us, and we need to be very careful when talking to them, obviously, but to show the kind of respect that Obama did, a common slave in Saudi Arabia would bow down and kiss his ring finger. So I'm not sure why we've got an approach that is so giving in, constantly giving in to the king. I don't think the king should dictate policy. Now, when WikiLeaks came out, whether it's true or not, it became obvious that King Abdullah ordered our country to attack Iran. Now, we clearly didn't attack Iran, but the fact is we have done a lot of things to kowtow to King Abdullah. kissing his ring finger, I think, is the epitome of the worst we've ever done. What we need to do is lead and show them the way. Now, remember when Bill Clinton...
lean on it because he has a responsibility to be a good partner.
Yeah.
Again, to this country.
Absolutely.
And it's another one of these cases, Dave, where the other country isn't meeting us halfway. They're not even coming a quarter of the way.
You know, I don't necessarily...
It's fucking over.
I don't really believe that we're going to be able to trim the ship unless we have a growing production of our own oil supply. We can beat them at the game of oil production. So I would encourage a sit down in public in front of all to see, even C-SPAN can run this, for all to see a sit down with the oil companies discussing our energy independence. Now, if we can get this thing going, we can be the veritable OPEC of the future here in America. What OPEC did to us back in the 70s, we could do to the Gulf states. And this will ultimately change the dynamic and put Saudi Arabia in a more vulnerable position. You know, we have a lot of concern about the drying up of oil in that region, too. There's no evidence that there's an endless supply in countries like Yemen and other countries that Saudi Arabia is reaching out to get more oil. Back in the late 1990s, actually early 2000, somewhere around there, right when the Clinton Global Initiative started, Clinton actually went over there and had a great meeting with Saudi Arabia talking about how they need to create more solar solutions and become the emerging solar and wind power country of the future. And I think they took that to heart. And I think they're working on that. So we can move toward a collaborative effort to create renewable energy and keep Saudi Arabia in the loop. But allowing or needing Saudi Arabia to dictate policy will become a thing of the past. They've been bailing us out every time we needed oil. And you know full well they've done a good job at keeping the price of oil in America down considerably. But alternative energy is the answer. And we can lead by example by showing these people that we've got a great, robust oil production level going, and we certainly don't want to lean on them anymore, and we want to encourage them to develop their own renewable energy future, because that clearly is the way.
Well, see, I don't think that they should be praised for doing something that they're supposed to be doing anyways.
Well, you got to find points of praise. I mean, you know, what do you want to have them? All right. What do you want them to do?
Hey, what do you want them to do? Okay. I need to get a deeper voice. Yeah.
You clearly don't demonstrate the testicular fortitude to make demand.
We talked about this, buddy. You keep coming in here trying to demoralize me in a discussion, and it's not working. So next time you make your call, show a little more respect. I told you that at the beginning of this call. Do I need to do another Rodney Dangerfield for you to get you to understand what the hell I'm talking about? I mean, needless to say, okay, a couple interesting quotes here. I want to show this. Check this out. A quote from Adolf Hitler: "Society's needs come before the individual's needs." A quote from Hillary Clinton: "We must stop thinking of the individual and start thinking about what is best for society." Does this kind of ring a bell, folks? Beginning to look like a New World Order takeover, much like they tried literally to do that with Hitler. I think they had Hitler as their little in-between go boy, and he somehow mouthed enough of their crap to fulfill their goal of depopulation in that country. Smith, there's no falsehoods created. I navigated around your nonsensical hurdle and provided a simple answer. I can pass an executive order at any time for whatever reason and then follow with legal argument to back it up to disable an act of Congress. All right. Well, you should wipe the camera off or your monitor off, Killicam. I am sensitive. Yeah, I was sensitive to somebody who tries to demoralize the show, constantly derogatory every time you call in. And it's not working here, Rodney, because I am in control here. You are not in control. I'm your puppet master, and you're basically my little marionette. So if you want to call in again, feel free, but basically you are under my rule of thumb here. All right. Let's get back to the show here. We have 30 minutes left to have a power session to broker peace in the world and come up with a solution. Well, there's no debate. All you do is get into personal assaults on me, Rodney. You continue to avoid the objective truisms that I stated in front of you, instead resorting to name-calling in the end of the conversation. That's why I hung up on you. I'll tell you, I got no respect. No respect at all. I got chunks of guys like you in my stools. All right. Better to remain silent, thought of a fool, than to speak and remove all doubt. Thanks, Pumpkin. A Heart Radio Music Festival is streaming live on Yahoo from Vegas. Whoa. Thanks, Dungholio. I can't wait to go there. Ooh. Al Franken versus David Sponheim. Well, we could have like a debate. It's possible. I mean, it'd be fun to talk to Al Franken, wouldn't it? Just you know, kind of go head to head with him.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
I kind of look like him, I think. Just a little bit, you know? He's a little smaller than me. I think he's shorter than me. I'm 6'4". Yeah, I wanted to do this earlier, and I think it's relevant to the show. I don't want to in any way take up your time unnecessarily, but you know, it's very important that I get this down.
Because I'm good enough, I'm
Smart enough,
and
gosh
doggone
darn it, people like
me.
Gosh darn it, people like me. Okay, I had to get a line there so I could come back in the show with a new look. You know, yeah, it's important. I had to kind of straighten my attitude. I will, of course, debate anybody here. Foxman, lines are open. Start the debate right now. Anyone who calls in, 707, your ATP. Callers standing by. Let's go. I'll even sit in the White House chair. We'll talk. David, you're wrong about outlawing. Admit that. No, I'm not wrong about outlawing marijuana at all. I told you I will pass an executive order removing it from the list of controlled substances, and I will fight for legal precedent. Well, I'm not pandering to pot addicts to get elected. I'm actually appealing to the masses. If you call it pandering to pot addicts, that's your choice. Well, you know, when a president signs something, it is essentially a presidential order. Thank you. Dan, you don't even know how to use the English language. Please don't call. You'll make it worse. Dan, thank you. Industrial rudeness, go ahead. I chose to describe things objectively, yes. Dungholio, a.k.a. Rodney supporter, or possibly Rodney on the same account. Why do you have the same IP address as Dungholio, Rodney? Okay, let's go ahead and debate. My economic policies are not only a wave of the future, they're not absurd. They actually get the government to run efficiently like a machine, a well-oiled machine. No, I've always assumed my social policy is always based on the simple fact that innocent until proven guilty is the mainstay in American law. In England, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. I'm not in no way paranoid. I frequently go outside. Frequently, without my bulletproof jacket. I'm afraid there is no correction to anything I've said. Always said by law, I said executive order comes first. I will pass an executive order, I've always said that will remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances. I just don't have any feet behind me here. They're actually under the desk. I don't have a urination problem. Thank you, though. There's no truth to correct me. No. It was President Nixon's decision to put marijuana on the list of controlled substances. If you're saying it wasn't, then read back the history, the notes. Okay, we'll take the call. You got a bad connection here.
Yeah, you just mentioned utilizing an executive order.
Right.
While I agree with where you're coming from in that particular instance, you've been quoted numerous times saying that you disagree with your, what you call, quote, abusive use of executive order by Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah.
So aren't you in a way hypocritical?
Not at all. In fact, executive orders are the only tool a president has. Are you trying to make it so impossible for a president to do anything? Do you want to castrate a president? Because obviously some executive... No, you're trying to... No, let me answer this. You're trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. A president has the right to make executive orders. Just because I've condemned most of the executive orders that Barack Obama passed, he didn't even know what he was signing. Most of those were signed and developed by people that worked behind him at the Kissinger Institute or the Council on Foreign Relations or the Bilderberg Group. Most of the voluminous amounts of paper Barack Obama never even read. And I can tell you that when he signs something, it's usually unnecessary. Now, when I sign an executive order, that is an important issue, especially when it comes to legalizing marijuana, which would basically lower the amount of funding we have to put out for the DEA. $26 billion a year goes to the DEA for interdiction with marijuana. That's going to be a huge savings for our country.
I completely agree with you, but the point I'm trying to make is, I mean, there's a policy, there's a process for legislation.
Yeah.
That's why Congress and the Senate exist.
Yeah.
And you're no different than Uncle Barry when you try and circumvent the system.
No, that is not circumventing the system. I will try to do everything I can.
Absolutely.
I have no other recourse. No. I have no other recourse than to use an executive order to specify the clear problem. Marijuana, being a medicinal agent that helps people, should not be on the list of controlled substances, period. I'm asking Congress to agree with that. In the process, I'm going through courts to do it. It's a judicial process. It is. It is. It is a judicial process, but I said from the very beginning that I'll put the ball in motion with an executive order. I'm not stressed at all, Sean.
See, I again, I agree with your end game, but I do not agree with your approach.
Well, what approach would you recommend?
In a negative fashion, man. You should be talking
seriously.
About
Seriously, what approach would you recommend?
Of this country together and create a beneficial deal for everybody, a sensible deal for America. You, on the other hand, are pulling a Hitler in your own way, saying, I'm just going to nail this down everybody's throat. It's going to be my way, and I'm going to just...
Not at all. No. In fact, it's the only... No. Again,
you're American, Dave. How dare you?
You're such a waste of space. You come in here and you literally turn the show into your hate hour against all the great ideas that make this party great. Literally. 154 votes will stimulate a word of mouth campaign that will blow out into the realms of the media, Casey Jackalope. And if you think for a second that the people watching this show are not listening, you're mistaken. I've got the people in this room, 58% of the people in this room are probably in favor of marijuana legalization. And you got people, arch neocons like Rodney calling up, who don't want any power for the president because he wants basically the same old status quo, a group of cronies that have embedded themselves in our government to control legislation and basically uproot any great plans any president has. Now, Band, I'm sorry you don't believe in pot, but people are good on weed. Spectre agrees. Ron probably agrees. A lot of people support marijuana, so everybody who supports, say, one, marijuana legalization, and we'll basically, through popular vote, push you out into the hinterlands, Mr. Rodney, whatever your name is, and we will knock you out of the chat room. All right? Feel good? Like it? Enjoy. So I've got a quorum of people here that back me on legalization, and you have the audacity to come in here and take something so sacrosanct as my executive order, my first order of business, to remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances as your attempt to call me an overstepping presidential power? You got your gall. And I'll tell you something, you and all the neocons that have nested in our little room and think you can interloper have no power at all in this show, buddy. And I got news for you. Your calls are done for a long time to come. You've outstepped your bounds, and I am the puppet master, and you have no control over what's about to happen in this country, because the American people, the will of the American people has been spoken, and they want legalization. Back off, way off. I can't believe you think you can come in here and try to claim I don't have any method in which I can dictate anything in this country. You want to emasculate and castrate the next president. You don't want a man with balls to run your country. You want a guy like Barack Obama who sucks up to all the corporate pigs that back his entire nonsensical campaign for his socialized plans to give people all kinds of extra money. And they never do. They never give. Name one person that got a penny from all the money that's been printed by the Federal Reserve over the past 6 years. Can you name one real American who got a penny out of any of that? No. Thank you, Rubber Ducky, and thank you, Harlem Media, and thank you, all of you liberals who understand the importance of this. Now, regarding the question that Topper Dan has addressed the room, you're concerned that by restricting funding to municipalities that allow for brutality, I'd be outstepping my bounds as president. Well, it's very possible that the purse strings are in the hands of Congress. But in any way that I can, limit the amount of funding any municipality gets that is engaged in brutality, I will do that. Okay? I will ask every municipal government in this country to suspend without pay anybody accused of brutality, and then we will go through the internal investigation. IA can do whatever they need to do to find out the real case, whether the person was brutal. In the case of the Ferguson crime, that's a real questionable act to shoot somebody who's unarmed. Completely unarmed. Thank you, Kat. It saddens me to think that young men, African-American men, black men, are being racially profiled for walking around with some Skittles, or even threatening somebody with cigars. Steal some cigars, and then all of a sudden it's a death act against the guy? I mean, come on. Who decided that that cop is judge, jury, and executioner of that young man who was completely unarmed? So yeah, I'm going to be appealing to the African-American voters as well, because I really want to see some change here. And the best choice I've got, Topper Dan, is to restrict the money that those municipalities will get. I'll do everything I can within my legal means to do that. I do not want to outstep my bounds as president. And in deference to this guy who calls in, thinks he can just crap all over our show every single night, act like he controls this. No, I'm not changing the subject. I'm talking about you, Rodney. You think you control the dialectic here? You do not. This is new, Ellen. Basically, you come in here, and I don't know who's paying for you, buddy, but your game is through here. We're done with you. And it's taken me 8 months to realize you are of zero value to this show. Sorry, Asset DJ, you lose, and all of your cronies lose who come in here and basically spun out of control. No, you're spun out, man. You come in here, and I told you this last night. You tried to degrade our show. Again, Topper Dan, I told you that IA can determine whether there's guilt or not, but suspending funding is my right. If indeed it is the parameter, and I have the ability to control their purse strings, it's my right as president to dictate the tone of protocol in any military in this country. Now, if those police officers are not being trained to shoot to maim, then there's a problem with the protocol. And as commander-in-chief, I will dictate whatever military operation going on, whether it's the local, police, or state, or federal, will have to understand we need to get the protocol in order here, because shooting to kill an unarmed person is a true violation of human rights and a classic violation of the Geneva Convention. International law is being breached here. Thank you, Industrial Rudeness. There's no fantasy here. I have legal precedent to remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances. I told you that. The legal precedent is obvious. Marijuana is medicinal. Period. End of discussion. It won't be long for Congress to see the light. And if we don't understand the importance of our entire economy here, then you're completely mistaken. Not necessarily. No petty criminal is going to reach out and claim misconduct. There has to be actual evidence. And what I'm going to urge everyone to understand is we have the ability in the modern age, to do something amazing. We can put a video camera on every single cop. And I'm not kidding. We can put a video camera on every single cop, and we can make sure that the actions of that cop have met and complied with protocol. Now, if somebody were to rough up a guy with the video camera showing full evidence, now if they say, oh, I don't have a video camera, it broke, then I'd put that guy on alert. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that we have valid, credible evidence and reasonable doubt in the case of a person committing brutality. And then we'll proceed. It's just like any prosecuting attorney proceeds with a crime that's been committed. They have to find out that there has actually been somebody harmed. Now, if there's been a serious violation of a person's human rights and somebody's been beaten up or shot, there has to be recourse. And I will do everything I can fiscally to get the municipality to comply with the laws and the protocols of the police force. The whole process starts with an executive order, yes. The decision, the executive order, and the signing of the Controlled Substances Act was Richard Nixon's decision. Even putting it on the list was Richard Nixon's decision. You go into the case law and you'll see Nixon had his fingerprints all over marijuana illegalization. Look at the case law, man. You're not arguing anything here. We aren't in a court of law, and I don't need to continue laboring on this issue because it's irrelevant. There's 3 conventions that have to be applied to. We have to meet and comply with all of the Geneva Convention laws. Currently, our position on enemy combatants, as dictated by George W. Bush and reaffirmed by Barack Obama, has actually led to a tremendous violation of human rights across the board. We have a situation right now. That's right, Ostock. They're hell-bent on doing anything to stop me because they see me growing. And they see what this plan is all about, is just awakening the American people to a third party. Look into the entire story of why marijuana was declared illegal and was put into the Substance Control Act, and then for no reason other than the simple fact that they claimed there wasn't enough scientific evidence proving that it was medicinal, put it there. But you'll look at the reality is there's ample evidence across the nation, across the world, the globe, to show that marijuana is indeed medicinal for people, and there's no way we're going to be able to keep that there on the list of controlled substances. Hey man, I'm just telling you, I'm at the head of the wave here. The American people want legalization. You saw it in the room. So why are you fighting me on this? I will do the bidding of the American people. I've even said that if 2/3 of the country want to support something, I will get behind that and I will go in that direction. Okay? Now, if you can somehow declare that abortion should be illegal and you can get 2/3 of the people to support this, we'll pass an amendment. Sure. That's 2/3 of the country. Representatives will have to answer. We'll have to pass an amendment, won't we? But I doubt 2/3 of this country is going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Seriously. Pot is a very beneficial drug, and if you don't understand that, and being you've never tried it, industrial rudeness, I'm going to ban you. Not because you didn't try it, but because you absolutely have no clear vision as to where the American people's mindset is. A lot of you neocons like Rodney, or Nazis like the guy just banned, don't understand that this country is aware. We're awakening to the reality that, hey, if it grows in the ground, why should we limit it? And if it's a do no harm drug, or herb as I call it, why should we make it something that people can't use or benefit from? I mean, it's logic, simple logic. And you see how they want to attack me, claiming I don't have the right as a president to do anything because Obama, I claim, has abused other rights. You know, Obama is a different story. He's an abomination. And our country needs to really wake up. really wake up to the reality that the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, no, was signed by the President under executive order. Thank you. Whatever. Does it matter? Thank you. All right. Hey, if I have to continue to fight for something I believe in, I will. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you want to do in the next 12 minutes to help the country, instead of fixating on what Dick Nixon did in 1970. Because he was the architect behind putting marijuana on the list of controlled substances. Do the research. And I wouldn't doubt there's below the whole surface is an executive order, but let's not even go there. I did not mean to purge USA been hijacked. Go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Good point. Marijuana could help save that woman who's dying of cancer. Rodney, you are real messed up tonight. I'm going to ban you from the room, and frankly, Rodney, don't call here anymore. No, actually, it doesn't matter if I was wrong or right. Dick Nixon was the architect of putting that on the bill. The Substance Control Act never would have actually added marijuana unless Dick Nixon put it on the bill. Now, I have not had a problem discussing this in the past, but I'll tell you, we've got enough neocons worry right now that I'm going to actually make some headway in this election coming up in 2016, that they're coming out of the closet right now. I smell fear right now. I smell fear. I do. Yeah, let me tell you, for all of you new viewers, I want to tell you about a phenomenon that's been going on for some time here. Okay, Foxman, you take it easy. Whenever it gets incredibly dynamic and our show gets really good and things start moving forward and people are realizing, wow, we really do need a third party, all these neocons and interlopers like Topper Dan and neocons like Rodney come in the show and get all freaked out because they are the pinions, they are the minions, if you will, of the New World Order and the two-party system. They are the very people that want to hold on for dear life to their failing infrastructure, the thing that is completely screwed up. I mean, I'm going to ban you too because I'm tired of you too, buddy. The entire system that's so screwed up, we are literally watching people hold on and cling to their last hope that their party is somehow going to come up with some great new plan after 5 or 6 failed presidencies. Isn't it amazing how they come in here, and you guys who stand up for me, and I really thank you for that. An interloper is a person who comes in is not welcome, Topper Dan, and frankly, you have never been welcome here. That's what an interloper is. And I got enough support now and enough momentum behind me and inertia that you can't stop me, okay? You neocons and foo-foo liberals who absolutely have no clue as to what's really happening in the real economy right now, who have lost track of the American people because you don't give a crap about the average Joe, makes me unstoppable because I have the will of the people behind me, and you've got squat. You've got a bunch of old, archaic losers who can't come up with any new ideas, sitting around, sucking up to the same old every single election. Oh, yeah. We need another Hillary. Oh, sure, she's going to really have some answers, like she did with Benghazi. Her incompetence resulted in the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi, truly. Just think what she could do as president. Just imagine the danger that woman's going to cause us. It's unbelievable. Or a guy who can't stop eating is expected to be able to cut waste? I mean, seriously. What are they thinking? They got nothing. This guy was booed off the stage last week, can't even get his whole campaign going, and I got people in here like going, yeah, man, you're all over this. We will cut waste. We will cut this, and we will resolve the problem with Benghazi too, because that is a CIA-driven problem, and I can spell CIA. And it's written all over the entire situation. The USA Been Hijacked has got a lot of good points here tonight. Turn off your TVs. Put down your iPads. Look around and tell me, what do you see? America. America? You're seeing an oppressed nation being bullied by cops and military while everything's hunky-dory. So true, USA been hijacked. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Funkin' Junkie. You like my stand-up mansion. Yep, thank you. Well, guys, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I really do. Except for the neocons and the libtards and the obvious Obama-tards that come in here. A lot of you have woken up to Obama's lies and realized that we can't go back to another George W. Bush-style presidency with Jeb Bush. I've got his picture somewhere here. We don't want to in any way promote a kiss ass for a president. I cannot imagine this guy leading our country. He doesn't have the balls to lead our country. He is ballless. He can't stand up to his own party, let alone the people that are destroying our nation. I'm trying to win the Latino vote here. Be interesting if I did a Marco Rubio impersonation. That'd be pretty funny. Well, thank you, Flyman, and I appreciate it. You know, I've got 6 more minutes to talk to you here, and I want to tell you, we need to wake up. Ron Helix is right. Our people, our nation, we're suffering. We haven't had any real benefits from our government. You may call food stamps a benefit. That's buying us a little time right now. You may call unemployment benefits for 99 weeks way beyond what they should have been. That may have been a terrible mistake. But that's just buying us a little time, and it's no longer in place. What we have right now in our nation is a group of people that are absolutely concerned about where our environment is going, where our foreign policy is headed, how we've triggered wars by starting this Arab Spring around the world, and you're getting American people to go, wow, this is really important. We need to do something. And you're getting people wake up right now and realize we need a guy who's of the people, by the people, who will do the people's bidding. And that is exactly who I am. I have never been anything but that. People have come into our show and accused me of being part of the Illuminati, whatever that is. I have never been a part of a secret society. I've never joined the Freemasons. I'm not at all what every other politician is. I'm a guy who stepped away from the entire system. When I was indoctrinated at UCLA by Marxists, they tried to turn me into a Marxist, and I said no, and I walked away, and I turned away a degree at UCLA. I turned away a future, an academic future, because I told them, you cannot indoctrinate me with Marxism in the middle of this classroom where we're talking about public policy, or we're talking about economics, or we're talking about geography. I met all kinds of Marxists at UCLA, and I can tell you that I'm not part of the academic community that somehow vomited up Barack Obama. I'm not part of the corporate community that spit out and weaseled their way into power like George W. Bush. I'm not part of the secret societies that emanated and created people like John Kerry or John McCain. I'm nothing like that. I'm a man of and by the people, and that's what really makes people fearful of my ultimate goal here, which is to help this nation. Not only do you not care, everybody in this country cares. You are a minority if you think you can shut this down. Topper Dan, I'm not unemployed, I'm retired. You know, you people want to define people by calling them names. You want to call them unemployed, loser, liberal. You want to call them anything you want, but the bottom line is they're the ones that keep getting this election moving in their direction. Because you don't have the numbers. You Republican elitists don't have the numbers. You hardcore libtards who commie agenda do not have the numbers either. And you can't even provide a single penny to the American people with all the Federal Reserve printed money there is, what, $20 trillion in the past 6 years? Not one penny to the American people. Dead in 2009 is the same Nazi. He comes in under different names. You'll notice new people coming in the room I'll be banning because it's the same guy. He's just regenerating at the new username. Good night, Hammer. Thanks for coming in. We got about 3 more minutes left to kind of round out this whole discussion on the economy, on our country. And when I first started this show, I was not planning on being sidetracked on the marijuana issue. But my position has always been the same. I will pass an executive order declaring marijuana no longer to be on the list of controlled substances and making it legal in America to grow and harvest and produce. And we will set up a tax with that plan. That executive order will have a tax, a federal tax, and we will stipulate that states will not have access to that tax. It will be doled back to the states per capita, on a per capita basis. Thank you, everybody. I want you also to know that my concern for the environment is greater than any president that's ever walked the face of this earth. If I become president, I will make the environment my central focus, because that is where the jobs will be coming from. That's where growth and production will happen. That's where America will reclaim its greatness as a country. That's where our economy will rebuild, and the environment is key. And I think you all know that. And that's why the legalization campaign is very much a part of that, because it endorses hempoline into the entire mix, and hempoline will truly lower the cost of fuel for diesels. Diesel truck drivers will get a green alternative if they want to run hempoline in their trucks and save a lot of money. And we'll stop the imperial attitude of a power pushing on other countries. We will end the Arab Spring. Colossal failure for our country, and has led to the potential for more wars around the world. Thank you. And I will do what you people feel you need to do, because I can feel the tempo and the sense of Americans right now is that we do not want to be in war. We want to bring our troops home. And these idiots that think they can manufacture presidents as if we're some sort of a process where we go to the Kissinger Institute and we're spit out as a good little yes man like Barack Obama is, well, I'll make no mistake about it. I'll say whatever's on the teleprompter. I'm not that kind of guy. You got real verve here, and I will do what it takes to save this nation. Now, if you want some pussy for a president, pick another guy. Thank you for coming in. And I'm sorry I have to be loud sometimes, but, you know, it gets ridiculous. Attack after attack after attack every single night because we are getting popular. And that's what really scares these people. They cannot handle this. They can't handle people really getting behind a centrist voice for our country. I'm a fiscal conservative and a social liberal willing to compromise. And that's a dangerous thing. And you know what else is dangerous? Honesty. And I don't know how you even stayed in the room, Dung Holio. I'm going to say goodbye to you for a long time to come. All right, thanks, everyone. Tonight we're going to be profiling some of the problems in the world. See how they want to rain on my parade? Classic. You're like a leech, man. You're like a bottom feeder. Go away, Rodney. Let's take this on a lighter note and show some very interesting video that I think you've never seen before, unless you watch our show. This is a woman who has amazingly large buttocks, and she's wearing a thong. Yeah. But check this video out. This woman is an amazing lion tamer. Then we're going to go right to a video about Breitbart, one of the great conservatives, who actually was killed, in my opinion. We'll talk about that tonight, too. Look at this.
Момент, когда все надежды вернуть львов в пустыню рухнули, они устремляются к морю. Удержать их невозможно. Они, наконец, почуяли край свободы, созданный для них.
he's coming towards me if I bend down. Click on the same side.
That's pretty funny. Talk about bravery, it's unbelievable. No, her story is she was raised with lions, so she could handle this. It's amazing. She knows all their affectations, how they respond. She knows their instincts, everything. This is crazy.
Andrew Breitbart was murdered. Speaking to an audience weeks before his death, Breitbart claimed he had videos that would end the political career of U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama. I have videos. This election, we're going to vet him. We are going to vet him from his college days to show you why racial division and class warfare are central to what Hope and Change was sold in 2008. Hope, change, what change? Breitbart alleged he had video footage to prove Barack Obama's connection with mysterious figure Bill Ayers, and he promised to unveil damning new evidence of our president's radical past that would change the election. He claimed that he had a video showing radical leather underground terrorist Ayers and Barack Obama at Harvard planning revolution in the United States. But the video, aired just shortly after his death, was Obama introducing a radical Harvard professor, and the general response was flat. It was not like Breitbart to promise a scoop he could not deliver. So what happened? Was the real video stolen?
Barack Obama is a radical. We should not be afraid to say that. Okay? And Barack Obama was launched from Bill and Bernadine's salon. I've been there. It became a self-evident truth to me that there's zero chance that this incredible chef did not cook many a meal for Barack Obama. Don't tell me ABC, CBS, and NBC I don't have the that I can't posit that theory, because it's a self-evident truth. Just like it was a self-evident truth that he was with Jeremiah Wright, and just as it's a self-evident truth that when he was at Harvard, he was advocating for the worst of the worst to join the faculty. Radicals.
The mainstream media will have you believe that Andrew Breitbart died of natural causes, an aggressive and sudden heart attack. But is this the truth? Andrew Breitbart was an extremely charismatic figure, and when he spoke, people listened. The allegations he was making were clearly a threat to President Barack Obama, the administration, and national security. Remember, Weiner, the first later confessed and admitted to sending the material to at least 6 to publicly apologize directly to Breitbart by name during his press conference that announced was also well known for playing a key role in the resignation of Shirley Sherrod, in addition to his involvement in the Acorn 2009 undercover video controversy.
But yeah, we're getting like
so for an individual who had a track record and reputation for ending the careers of politicians and was perceived by many to be a loose cannon and a danger to the establishment. Would it not be entirely possible that the United States government and President Barack Obama had a reason to kill Andrew Breitbart? That is, if they had something to hide? During Breitbart's keynote speech at the CPAC convention, he claimed his video would ruin the political career of President Barack Obama. This is not an exaggeration. He was quoted as saying, "Wait till they see what happens March 1st. March 1st. But on March 1st, 2012, when the explosive video was set to be released, Andrew Breitbart was dead. He died at the UCLA Medical Center after he collapsed, walking home from a bar in Brentwood, California. He was only 49 years old. Andrew Breitbart died on March 1st, 2012, and a few weeks later, Michael Cormier, a member of the Los Angeles County coroner team investigating Breitbart's death, winds up dead himself, the same day as the release of Breitbart's official autopsy report. According to officials, and as reported by the LA Times, Cormier, 61, died on April 20th after being submitted to Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, California, after complaining about pain and vomiting. Cormier's suspected cause of death, arsenic poisoning. And now, according to recent reports, a private investigator has been unable to find the only eyewitness to the sudden death of Andrew Breitbart. The apparent disappearance of Christopher Lassiter, the last person to see Breitbart alive, and who says he saw Breitbart drop to the sidewalk in front of a restaurant, adds to the mystery. Breitbart was walking without apparent distress when he stepped on the curb and fell like a sack of potatoes, Lassiter told investigators. He noted that Breitbart's skin color was bright red, which is not typically associated with heart attack victims. Poisons like cyanide or carbon monoxide are known for turning skin red. So who killed Andrew Breitbart? Who had motive to? And why would they do it? President Barack Hussein Obama and the United States government openly kill people on a regular basis they deem a threat to national security. Most recently, Obama congratulated himself for the murder of suspected al-Qaeda terrorist Anwar al-Awlaki. Al-Awlaki, an American citizen who had recently dined at the Pentagon, never received a trial and was never convicted by a jury of his peers. He died in Yemen on September 30th, 2011, after the CIA unleashed a barrage of Hellfire missiles at a car carrying him. Those that also died, his son, only a teenager.